everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. This week brought to you by, I'm Gus. There's no Gavin.
I'm Ellie.
I'm Bernie. Gavin is out with the measles.
And I'm Gus.
This week.
Is that true?
No, that's not true, but it is weird. It is weird that you can make that joke and people think it might be true today.
Right.
Was Madagascar's up to like 680 cases?
Yeah, and I believe Japan is having their worst measles outbreak in decades. I think they have like 167 people or something like that.
Dude, I learned something from the Japanese outbreak of measles, and that is that it just wears off, the vaccine, after a while.
Oh, the vaccine.
As soon as
measles?
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
over it.
Yeah.
I started reading about all this, and then
blind.
I looked into it. I was like, do I need to get another measles vaccine now that I'm an adult?
And you do.
It depends. It's fucked up. It depends on what year you got it.
Really?
There were different...
What strain of vaccine they gave you?
Well, they were different. They updated the way that they did vaccines.
That's some Resident Evil shit.
And like for a certain period of time, the vaccine does wear off. And if you're after a certain cutoff date, you probably don't
What's
have
the date, Gus?
I have
Stop
no-
withholding information.
when-
Are you looking
I
at the
don't want to
Japanese
say,
date?
I'm not a doctor. I'm probably going to get it wrong. I'll have to look it up.
That'd
And
be-
my internet doesn't fucking work.
That'd be a good business. You could be a vaccine consultant.
So it's somewhere
I keep
between
telling him to
Bernie's
use
age
the
and my
hotspot,
age.
Eric. He keeps complaining about the internet.
Or just
But-
like a guy with a headset that's like, you're probably fine. Like the 2003, 2004, that was a pretty strong one. Like,
It's fine.
Who's to say?
Rub some dirt on it. You'll be good.
There was a measles outbreak in Wales like a year before I moved here. And I remember that because I went to a Cardiff rugby game where their chant against Swansea was, have you got your MMR? Which is like the name of our vaccine. It was so mean and excellent at the same time.
Only British people could use plague as a way to make fun of someone else.
In your face.
They've lived
true.
through so many of it. I recently read that Sir Isaac Newton invented calculus because he was released from school to avoid the plague outbreak
Yeah, he was 24 at the time, right?
where he was.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And so in his off time, he invented calculus so that he could further study physics, basically.
Imagine if we got a Slack from HR. It's like, hey guys, just a bit of plague.
Right.
So don't come in.
go home.
When we were a much smaller company, I got shingles. And I had to ask everyone at the office, has everyone had chickenpox or the chickenpox vaccine? Because if not, you're gonna get chickenpox from my shingles.
Oh.
Which is, I guess, like the most modern
You can't
equivalent
get
of
shingles
that.
from your shingles?
No, you have to have chickenpox first.
Who licked your shingles on the
You
podcast?
was it Gav or Jack?
How do you not remember that?
It was Gav. It was Gav.
How do I not remember that?
So you can't go straight.
Horrifying.
You can't go straight to shingles. You have to have
You can't.
chickenpox first.
Is that
Oh,
true?
wow.
Yeah, because shingles come from a reactivation of the chickenpox.
Shingles is
Zoster
super,
virus,
super
right.
chickenpox?
Herpes.
It is
Oh.
herpes.
It's a herpes zoster, right? Is that right?
Yeah, the medicine they gave me for it was Valtrex.
Chicken
which is
herpes.
the herpes medicine.
Chicken herpes.
It's antiviral. It's antiviral that you take.
Yeah. Tell that to the people, to the pharmacist handing you the fucking medicine.
Oh, right, sure. What do you worry about? The Ashley's the only person I know who's had chickenpox twice. She didn't get chickenpox enough the first time.
I had it twice.
Oh.
You did too?
I had it twice, and I had shingles.
Whoa, dude.
That virus has its way with me. I had chickenpox as a baby, then I had it again when I was in first grade.
Really? That's a bummer, dude.
Oh.
Do you remember it when you had it?
I remember the first grade one.
You do, I bet.
You know what was the worst? Chickenpox in your ass crack.
Oh,
I remember that very specifically from when I had chickenpox as a 6 or 7 year old. Walking was a nightmare.
I was about to
'Cause
say
your
that
ass
chickenpox
cheeks
kind of
rubbing.
sounds like a cereal, and now I take it back immediately. It doesn't at all.
No, it was awful.
is it the last of the poxes?
The final pox.
Yeah, there was like a lot of poxes, and then that's the last pox.
What about
like,
epoxy?
they wouldn't like
Is that a thing?
they didn't call like AIDS
little
sex
different.
pox or anything like that. You know, they gave it its own name. Things get their own names now. They're not like a
Sex pox
version of
sounds
pox.
way cooler though, doesn't it?
Sex pox.
I got the sex pox.
Isn't that a Tom Jones song?
But yeah, the thing about the chickenpox now is there is a vaccine for it. There was not a vaccine when we were kids.
Right.
And so that was the decision that I had to make, was to whether or not it was an optional vaccine I could give my kids. And it was, we talked about it. Like it was a little bit of a debate. The other stuff, not so much.
I know a lot of mums who got their kid to have chickenpox on purpose.
Yeah. These have
Like
parties.
they have, like chickenpox parties
Pox
so
party.
that you would get it and then it would be over with.
My dad always told the story. My dad grew up we were very far apart. He was 45 when he had me. He's my age when he had me. And he talked about like just the way they would handle it. So it was 45. I was born in the mid 70s. He was born like 1930. That's when my dad was born. So he grew up in Depression era and then was like almost a teenager during World War II. So his memories of all that were very, very clear. And as a result of being raised by someone who grew up in the Depression, we had to fucking save everything, like all our glass jars and everything. But he always told the story. Hey, what's up, Gav? How are the measles? You doing good? That's what we told people. You had the measles. But he always told the story about that his brother got tonsillitis, and the doctor came in to give a tonsillectomy, which he did at the house, I guess. And then there were 4 kids, so the doctor just told the mom, said, "We'll just take out all their tonsils.
Have them all.
Yeah, it'll be cheaper if I just do them all now."
It's like Costco.
And he got like
doing it in
knocked out
bulk.
with ether. That's how they knocked him out. It's just like, it's amazing how much things changed in one generation to now. You know,
It's wild.
just nuts.
What I miss?
Lots of really cute chats about chicken pox and
Measles.
sex pox and measles.
It's like there's no more poxes. That's what we're talking about.
Oh, we at the end of
Chicken pox was like
poxes.
the last of the poxes.
The greatest pox.
And AIDS, they didn't call it sex pox, which we think is a missed.
Missed
I always
marketing
thought-
opportunity.
Yeah, it was.
I always thought smallpox. Smallpox was way worse.
Way worse. Terrible. Very gross.
Why were they small?
I don't know.
Was there a large pox? Like, were there other
Was
pox?
that regular pox?
Big pox. Do you want this? Do you want the small pox or the
Hey,
regular pox?
My internet started working. Only 8 minutes into the show. There we go. Yay.
Why don't you use your stupid fucking phone?
I keep telling you, I don't get good service in here.
Well, stop complaining. This has been 16 years of this. You know we don't
It's
have
been
good
longer than
internet.
16 years, dude. It's been 21 years.
Well, 16 years of this company.
16 years nonstop.
So
Yeah.
you're still here.
I guess so.
You didn't blow your own head off.
What did I say, 40 or did I say 50 when I first said
No,
it?
it's 40.
You said
Was
40.
it 40?
You
Yeah.
said you're going to shoot yourself. You're going to say you're going to shoot your own brain out.
We'll give it a little longer.
Okay.
If things are still okay. I'm a little sore though. I slept bad, so thinking about it.
Isn't that bad when you hurt yourself sleeping?
Yeah, that's so stupid. What, like, if I was an animal, I'd be dead.
Probably.
It's like I slept wrong, and now I can't move, and now something's gonna eat me.
I mean, what animal lives to 41
Tortoise.
like you?
Damn, you were ready.
Yeah. I mean, there's not many. It's the one with a lot of longevity, right?
Didn't they just find
Some
like
parrots?
They found like a large Galapagos tortoise that they thought like they had gone extinct, and they found that like 100 years ago, and then one just like wandered up.
All
They're
right,
like, oh,
guys.
they're still here.
But little do you know that tortoise is thinking, as soon as I hit 200, I'm going to shoot myself in the head.
Some panther did the same thing, right? A black panther showed up somewhere.
They recently took a photograph of the elusive Black Panther.
Yeah.
He was at the Oscars last night.
He heard the movie came out.
That was it. That was
And then
it.
now measles in
got a bunch of-
Costa Rica.
Oh really?
They haven't had a case in something like 5 or 6 years, and then French tourists unvaccinated
of
came
the
in and were
world.
like, "Yeah, here's some measles for you."
What's with these unvaccinated people walking about?
I don't know, Gavin. Gavin, I don't know if this. On off topic. I talked about you going to an osteopath, and I hope that was okay
Oh, well, I guess so.
because you were looking for an osteopath. I remember.
I did go to an osteopath. Yeah.
What's an osteopath?
Osteopath is like a bone doctor.
It's like a chiropractor in the US.
Do you have a gammy bone?
It's like a chiropractor meets physical therapist kind of thing. Like they do all the cracking and the stuff. And
And osteopaths in the US are like MDs. They can go on to be surgeons and not pediatrists, so they have their own school.
but it is,
like
I think,
pediatricians
like
and all
an
that.
originally European practice.
That's what I
which
was
is
just-
why they were like, "There's not many of us." You found me.
They can do the manipulations. They can do
I'm
the-
the osteopath.
Yeah, they cracked my neck and my back, and it was amazing. And then I got a bill for what was not covered under insurance.
How would that go for you?
It wasn't great. That wasn't great.
I like bills that you get after.
Yeah, like months later, and they're like, "We've decided now on that."
I told the story of how I just had to get a checkup so I could work on something for insurance reasons. And they were like, "Oh, you got like a waxy ear. Let me clean your ear." And I was like, "All right, I'm here. Give it a
$300,
clean."
please.
And I got a bill for $90.
Yeah.
I could have cleaned my own damn ear.
But you didn't.
No.
But I didn't.
Right.
That's how
Did they
we
get a
get
bunch of like? Did you see all the stuff they took out of it?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Was it
great.
really? Yeah. See, you can't do that at home,
You
dude.
say it's awesome, but I showed you the photo when they did that for me, and you said it was gross.
Is it like pimple popper?
You're gross though.
Well, it wasn't like excreting. It was just like a nice
It wasn't
big
just
lump.
like pulling it out.
Could
I
you feel
found-
it when it came out? Like it was
Oh,
like
it was amazing. I would pay to feel that.
yeah.
I'd pay to feel again.
Yeah, you should own a football team.
Oh, speaking of gammy ears, one of my AirPods is quieter than the other one.
Because it's gummed up.
Because it might be some earwax in it.
Yeah.
So I
Or did
just
you get it wet?
We talked about this
think
with
I got
Barb
wet.
last week, how Apple products just make you feel so disgusting as a human.
because they were like nice and clean and white.
Or the glass is nice and transparent, and then after you use it, it's all...
So what I had to do is I went into accessibility and I put the slider the other way.
Oh, that's
so it's
smart.
now louder in that
Change the
one.
panning.
And now it's centered again. But I can only do that so much until it doesn't slide anymore. And then I have to get a new one.
See, I always keep mine
Your
super
ears get
clean
full.
because one thing I do when I'm walking with people is I share headphones. Like I'll give them one of the headphones.
That's disgusting.
That's so gross.
Is it? Well, I keep them super clean.
Do you also share meatballs?
What's that?
That's the same.
Do we share what?
Like your food?
We trade shoes. We each wear one of each other's shoes. So I keep them super clean as a result of that. I have like a little tool. You know, you get those little flosser. Get a flosser, and then you can just like the back
Like
end.
the pre-made kind of little plastic thing
Yeah,
with the
but
little bit of floss.
that's it. Little
You
brush.
have like tiny little Q-tips. You're like, excuse me, 1 second.
Just pardon me. Zip, zip, zip.
There you
Here.
go.
I thought about
Let's listen to My Chemical Romance.
I thought about sucking.
Ugh.
Oh,
But I was also worried that I would break like a seal and it would just shoot a bunch of stuff into my
yeah,
mouth.
fucking hell. No, don't do that.
Yeah, but it'd be effective. Like what better way to clean?
Get a paper.
Can you
Lots.
douse them in alcohol? Is that a thing?
I don't think you're supposed to
I
do that.
wouldn't. Just
Let's do it.
I feel like there's a
Very
lot of
active.
times in life where you need to suck something, but you don't want to use your mouth.
That's a shirt. Can we get that as a shirt? You just made a shirt.
whoa.
Like you need a bit of
Listen, you people
suction,
like grapes.
You need to start a siphon or something like that. You just need like one suck worth, but it just is in your mouth. You don't want to put your mouth on it. If I could suck with like my ear, I would do it. Or
Eric,
like my
can
the
we
back.
make that the title of the episode? Apex Legends is Suckworth. Can we put that? Can that be the title of this?
Have you seen the videos of like the little suction machines that they use on people's paws and like to get like all the goo
Do you see on people's paws?
on their
She said
paws?
pores.
Oh, okay,
I heard
okay.
pause as well.
Skin on
I
their-
understood.
She
you
was
too.
even you were even doing it on your hands. I'm like pause. Like,
Yeah, I know. And like so like normally they would just do like an extraction by like popping it, but they get this little like vacuum machine and all this goo just starts coming out.
Does that work?
Not really, but like on the little like on the real big ones, like a little bit.
Yeah.
But people like reviewed it and basically like it just made their entire face like red and irritated. Like they were like, do not use this.
Did you ever do that cupping stuff?
No.
I think it's one of the things we talked about maybe doing for the vlog.
Yeah.
You know what I ran into? I was archiving footage the other day, and I ran into something that we refused to put in the not refused, but we discretion.
Refuse.
We were like, maybe we'll do this. It was when we were in Las Vegas,
Oh yeah.
and we heard about this service where they give you the IV. And so Ellie and
we
I
were
decided
such
we
little
wanted to
trash
test
people.
this and see if it was worked. So we literally stayed up to like 3 in the morning drinking, and then woke up at 6 a.m. and
I
went
think
down.
the footage starts with me like lying on the ground outside of your hotel room in the morning.
Because I woke
like-
up late. She's outside the hotel room. She came to like rouse me, and she couldn't get me up. And I come out like 20 minutes later, and she's asleep in the hallway.
I'm just
What is-
like,
What is it with you and this recurring theme? Because we did that immersion where you did the same thing to me and Jeff, and you made us eat turkeys and pizzas and drink
You
beer.
have to test. You have to
gotta
test.
test it, yeah.
This is literally the purpose of that IV service.
we were sitting there like so this IV service is supposed to like fix your hangover by like basically replenishing all of your fluids.
Yes.
And we were sat there and both like, we feel gross.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the most gluttonous, gross.
Like end of the Roman Empire. Like
Well,
this-
just like
and you're in
I went
Vegas.
out, like I specifically went out to get super drunk to then see if this worked, and here I am like testing it. Like,
do they
ugh.
only put good fluids in you, or do they take bad fluids out as well?
They only put good in.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be like a
would be-
dialysis machine.
Right, it's like take the bad blood
Take
out
my
on this
sin,
arm and put the good
replenish
blood
it
in
with
here.
goodness.
They tried to upsell us on synthetic, and we're like, no, we're not suckers, man.
They give you,
Just
like-
give me 30 weight.
As long as we're here, we'll take your tonsils out too.
They give you a little
Just eat it.
Roku and a blanket.
Yeah, a little and a leather recliner that I feel like should have been cleaned better than it was.
Yeah.
But from other people because you're getting an IV.
But they told us like someone came in there like literally was wheeled in by their friends in a wheelchair and like ran out like it's a new day. Like it does work.
So this is the lesson to learn from this. This was a horribly decadent experience that we
Yeah.
decided to put ourselves through. The problem with it reinforced that behavior because it works perfcly.
it works so
Felt
well.
amazing.
But where does it? So all this stuff goes in. What comes out?
What do you mean? We're just heavier. We're like 5 pounds
So
heavier.
you're just adding mass.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
add mass, but it's all like electrolyte goodness.
So if you
fluid,
just keep
saline.
doing it, you just get bigger and bigger. What happens?
I think you
sure,
you probably pee it out, right?
I mean, surely there's a point where you're like, there's only so much your blood can take in terms of like absorbing stuff.
Yeah,
I
one of
don't
the, one of-
I don't know at all.
one of the weirdest experiences I had as a parent was when JD was like, probably like 13, 14 months old. He got sick and he was throwing up a lot and then he had diarrhea and he got dehydrated as a result. So we said, we got to take him to the
Dysentery.
emergency room. He just got sick. You know, kids are fragile. And they were like, yeah, we're worried he's a little dehydrated, so we want to give him an IV. And we're like, okay. And we gave him the IV. And like that whole bag like disappeared. And then I went to pick him up and it was like He was
Like when a
picking
dog
up
eats a burrito.
exactly like that.
It's like picking up a child and an IV bag.
Yeah, but it was just like it was crazy because he was like so dense all of a sudden. Like he just like soaked up all that
Like
fluid.
saturated
So
little kid.
to answer your question, if you get too much fluid, you do swell. You get edema in the feet, ankles, wrist, and face. You get discomfort, you get cramps and headache, and then you get high blood pressure because you have too much fluid in your bloodstream.
That would have been a good video, huh? If like my whole face swelled up. Like a big bag person.
Yeah, that would have been no good.
Shortness of breath because you have too much fluid entering your lungs, reducing your ability to breathe.
What's all this for?
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, we talked about this yet. We have a s'mores maker.
Do we have any beer as well?
Oh, do we have
Do you
beer?
have beer?
Gavin's the only one drinking today, so.
I'll drink as well.
Oh, Allie will
Or
also
was
have
that
a drink.
supposed of me?
You want a beer, Gav or Gus?
No, I got my soda over here. My non-name brand.
You're
soda.
not drinking beer again on the podcast?
Do you
I
want a
beer right
s'more?
now. I don't know. I want a s'more. I don't want the
It's
beer to
good.
interfere with the s'more. Does that make sense?
It's like a big
Makes
old hairdryer.
Sense.
Yeah, this is just one of those gifts I got one year for Christmas, and I'm going through everything.
That's
I'm
pretty
in
dodgy,
this.
though.
I was organizing my footage because I'm organizing all my files and mainly my photos, and then also my documents over the years, and I'm organizing them into one place, and then I'm going to use that to copy back out to my backup stuff.
So then it'll be convenient when you lose it. It's just all in one place.
Right, exactly right. No, you know how I am. Listen, we've talked about
You
this
know
before.
me.
I used to keep excellent backups of everything in this company. Like you could rebuild any episode of Red versus Blue from seasons 1 through 10, like go down to the source files because I had everything backed up. And they made me turn in my drives from home so they could secure them, and they lost them within 3 months.
Who are they?
Brandon and IT.
I mean, it got to the point where you had lost stuff that I had. Like, I supplied files for the bonus disc because I used to just keep.
I was so
everything.
mad.
Thank you.
And they told me, they said you can't have them at home because it's just not part of our data security procedure, and we're going to
It's
lose
your company. Just
have a thing.
have it.
it. Like, yeah, but you hire people. You always say stuff like that, Gavin. You hire people to do stuff. You got to let people do their jobs.
You hire someone and then they're like, you can't do this. You'd be like, what? Yeah.
Well, you hire experts, supposedly.
Also, there's one thing in management that everyone does, which is like, it's like
you?
somebody's doing something, Gus, and you're like, they're doing it this way. Like they want to take the hard drives and put them in a vault somewhere, and they're going to secure them that way. And like, I don't know, I don't feel good about it. Like, well, just tell them they can't do it. And I'm like, well, it's their job. And they say, well, you're the boss. Just say no. No one ever wants that applied to themselves. Like if I walked into your office and said, no, don't do this, Gavin, do that. You'd be like, fuck you. Get out of here. But when it's somebody else, they're always like, you're the boss. Tell them the fuck off.
If I work for you and you said don't do that, I'd be like, all right. Fair play.
You wouldn't.
When does it ever come up?
What are you talking about?
For some reason, that reminds me of a story I read earlier today where
Bragging about reading.
one of the engineers who initially developed Google Maps was telling a story about how, when they first were making Google Maps, they have that satellite mode, but that the satellite mode isn't actually photos taken from satellites.
Is this too loud?
That's awesome.
So some people who were working on the project wanted to call it airplane mode because all the photos were taken from airplanes. They said, well, no, that's confusing and it's too long. It should just be satellite. So they had to have this product review meeting. And at the time, Google had this rule where there was so much time on a clock, like 60 seconds. And whatever the final thing said at the end of the 60 seconds that was the decision that was made.
Well,
That's
surely-
a smart
awesome.
idea.
Surely everyone says nothing for 58
Should we
seconds
do
and they
that?
start
Smart
yelling
idea.
like crazy.
So then they were they're talking, arguing airplane mode, satellite mode. Then right as the counter hit 0, Sergey Brin, one of the co-founders of Google, said, bird mode. And then it went buzzer. And then everyone got up to leave. And the developers are like, well, shit.
That's definitely
So
what
without
I'd
telling
do.
anyone, they went back to satellite. They just didn't say anything.
I would wait to the last moment and be like, balls. That's what we're calling it.
Balls.google.com.
I can't believe, that's what it was. Like, they literally had a timer. And it's like, whatever, the last thing someone says when that hits 0.
Bird mode.
I mean,
I like
I don't know.
bird mode.
I like the policy, but I like it more of like you have to come up with an agreement in 60
Could
seconds.
have called it crow's eye.
I gotta
The
say,
crow eyes.
of all the creative decisions that ever get made,
Is that a bed
name
jet?
What's that?
Have you just repurposed your bed jet?
No, did you install that bed jet?
No, I haven't yet.
Why haven't you? You're running out of cold weather.
Well, I want it for the cool.
Yeah, but Meg's not gonna like that you're attaching that to the bed, and you could bribe her with the heat.
I interrupted your story. I'm sorry.
I wasn't supposed to sound about. Oh, one of the hardest things creatively to do is name shit.
Yeah.
We always go around and around and around on names.
Slow-mo guys nailed it.
First time
Really
out.
good name.
Slamo.
Never gets misspelled, anything like that.
Never.
I liked your latest one. Is your latest one is the one with the big dippy pool, whatever the thing is called? Makes the big drop.
Dweep.
What is that called?
Wave
Wave pool?
pool study.
You wanna-
With your ducks?
can you turn your mic a little more that way?
Is it too noisy?
Like, a little bit of complaints, not too bad. I just want to
right.
minimize it as much as I can.
Yeah, I remember the.
Well, if you're complaining, listen. Are you here to listen to us talk, or are you going to let me eat this more, you fucks?
the new.
You just showed up with that, and you're like, we don't have to use it today.
I almost lost it.
It lost its integrity.
We could use it some
That's what
other
it
time.
does.
And
It
I was
kinda
like,
just
no,
goes bleh.
I have
now.
a question about these guys because I get why they cut
Alright, I
them
thought you were
across
saying that.
here. Well, I am I'm sort of in process.
Demoing.
All right. Well, I get that they cut it across here off of the old situation, but why would they cut it down there? Because then as soon as you try and bite into it, the whole thing fractures.
I'll be honest. I find the whole concept of s'mores stupid.
Shut
Yeah.
up.
Because it's
You
always
called it. You called it.
Yeah.
You
I
knew
quite
as soon as
like
he showed
it.
up, he was going to complain.
well, like they crack wrong, and
They
the
do crack
Hershey's
wrong.
is anus
Oh,
in chocolate
disgusting.
form,
It is so
and
bad.
marshmallows.
This
are
is
like,
not Hershey's, by the way. This is the Pennsylvania Chocolate Company. So.
I just saw Hershey's.
no,
on the bowl.
production.
No,
No,
you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
It's right there. Bernie
Why-
tried to
why
tell
are
me
we
that
allowed to say
was British
Hershey's?
chocolate.
We're just joking, dude. We can say whatever we want to.
Bernie tried to tell me that this was British chocolate, and I was like, oh yeah, Lindt and
just-
Springley.
It's not American.
It's not American, so it's British.
Sure, why
That's,
not?
that's the way it
Also,
works.
it
On the
is,
planet,
look.
you've got America
It's
and
made
not.
in Stratham, USA. So you're wrong.
It's made in the U.S. I always thought Lindt was like Swiss or something.
The real Lindt is Swiss.
Okay, but that's fake American Lindt.
Because isn't it a thing like Hershey has like a monopoly over American chocolate or something?
They bought Cadbury's, didn't they?
That's
Or
still
they banned Cadbury
This is a
import.
lie. It's a lie.
Anybody else want one? Or am I the only one eating s'mores?
I want one. I thought,
I
you,
would, Ellie.
Wait,
would
you
you turn
making
it
them
off.
for you? No,
I
fuck
thought
off.
you were.
Ellie, would you subscribe to a British chocolate box monthly delivery box?
Instantly.
What century do you guys live in? You can order stuff.
No.
No.
You
I'll
can't
make you
really.
this service.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hang on.
$50 a month.
But more importantly,
Off of Amazon, put it in a box.
more importantly, what are you going to name it?
Can't have BritBox. It's already taken.
Poxbox.
Aww.
Make sure you're vaccinated.
So, do you not subscribe to anything, any product?
Like a box? I mean, I subscribe to plenty of products. What do you? What
Do you do any of those Amazon subscribe and saves?
No.
They're always
definitely
suggesting
do
that.
Well, I mean, I just feel like I would use things irregularly. Like I would end up with too much or then not enough.
I mean, you
Like
could
your
just
Valtrex?
pause it.
Hey, I mean,
Like my Vel.
here's the thing, right?
Just skip a month or skip a week or whatever.
Here's the thing. I have definitely, in my 4+ years of living here, ordered English things off of Amazon out of desperation. But they always arrive and they're a little bit dodgy.
They're always.
They're not quite the right thing.
I ordered. Don't judge me.
I won't.
5
Ooh.
big multi packs of Monster Munch,
No, I don't judge you at all.
and they were all out of date.
I ate like 18 packs of Monster Munch over Christmas. They're
Yeah.
all out of date.
I just got a
What?
jar of peanut butter
They're all,
that's
like,
New Zealand
stale.
peanut butter. And it was a month out of date, and the date on the other ones are like a year and a half out. So this one must have sat on the shelf in their warehouse for a year and a
I also
fucking
got
half.
some
Bernie,
questionable pot
what's-
noodles.
What's Monster Mash?
Monster Munch.
Monster Munch.
Monster Munch.
Monster Mash is the graveyard smash. That's different.
On point.
Monster Munch is a British candy that is like a honeycomb thing
Oh, that's
covered in chocolate.
cold. You're cold.
I think Monster Munch
you
is a
described it
breakfast
crunchy.
cereal.
Crunchy.
Is it?
I think it's like Fruity Pebbles, where it's
Or
like
like Count Chocula.
I was thinking Fruity Pebbles, but yeah.
That's
Well,
two-
let
that's
me give you a
0
hint.
for
You've
2.
got pickled onion flavor.
Oh, yeah.
You got roast
roast beef.
beef
Cereal.
and you've got
Flamin' hot.
and you got flaming hot
Breakfast
Flamin'
cereal.
hot
roast beef and pickled onion.
So it's
There's
just like
3 distinct monsters.
they're crisps.
You got
right.
it.
Nailed it.
Are they potato crisps?
No,
I don't know
I
if
think they're made
anything.
of corn.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like Munchos.
But they're little like monster feet. They're terribly fun.
And also, they made them smaller at one because each bite was like this big, and they were like, "Oh, we'll make them smaller so kids can eat them." And then everyone was like, "Bullshit! We'll
sucks.
make them old and big again."
And that's
So
what
now
they
they're
say.
like-
They're actually on the packet. It says bigger again.
yeah, it's like the new old size is back, or I don't know.
So, Barbara just sent me this. There is boxes you can buy, like pack services, and you just pick a country, and they'll send you. There's a Canada,
like it's
USA,
random?
France, UK, Germany. You can get the UK one for $35 a month.
The
What's
UK one
gonna
is 35
be
bucks a
in it?
month.
Yeah.
Is
What do
it?
you get? Like
12.
mushrooms and tomatoes?
Blimey, the
No.
UK X Pack will take care of your tea time
X
needs.
Pack is a great name.
That's a great name. Yeah.
Oh,
I've done
they're
that.
really
not a
good-
sponsor. I don't know how.
Why is the microphone in your ear?
Get Walker's Crisps. I was looking down.
Oh.
Walker's Crisps.
Yep.
Jaffa Cakes. Cadbury Collect Chocolates. What the fuck? I can't read today.
Collect.
Clotted Cream.
Collections.
Yorkshire Tea. Jelly Babies.
Yep.
PG Tips.
God, I
Happy
miss
Sauce,
Jelly
Lemon
Babies.
Curd.
What about
Mint Arrow.
Sprinkle? You got any Sprinkle chocolate?
Iron Brew?
Iron Brew, yeah.
Scottish, isn't it?
You still don't know about Iron Brew. We've talked about this so many times. You refuse to learn about Iron Brew.
What's Iron Brew?
Iron Brew is the one. Do you know?
No, I don't know. I have no idea.
Really?
What's Iron Brew?
Guess.
So,
It's
Breakfast cereal.
fortified beer.
what country is Iron Brew the most popular drink in? There's only one country in the world that the most popular beverage
Oh,
is not
I
a
do know about
Coca-Cola
it. It's
product.
Ireland, isn't it?
Scotland.
Scotland.
How embarrassing for you.
No, I thought it was Ireland.
No, Iron Brew.
I know you thought it was Ireland. You were wrong. It's Scotland.
No, not because I got the two confused.
I like that you refuted me by going, no, I thought it was Ireland.
Not that I got them confused.
Scotland.
That would be fun if it's like random
Scotland!
different stuff in the box every time.
That would be amazing.
That would be really
I also found a website where you can like
You didn't like that, Eric? Fuck off.
you can
Was that your Scottish accent?
I just said Scotland.
there's a website where you can fill a box with British shit, but it has a weight limit of I think 30 kilos. But how much is that?
That's quite a lot.
That's a lot.
That's like a
You
full
can't tell us.
suitcase.
It's like 66 pounds, dude.
You guys are all metric there, right? Kilos?
So-
My brain is broken now when it comes to measurements. I don't know where I am.
They're worse off than we are.
It's double. Like, isn't that like 60 pounds?
2.2. 66.
Yeah.
What's that in stone?
4? Just over 4?
All right.
See,
4.5?
my whole
That's
experience
like ordering a toddler of chocolate.
totally
I would like
toddlers are
one
60
Prince
pounds.
George worth of chocolate, please.
Toddlers are 60 pounds.
Maybe like an 8-year-old.
Hanging out with.
When was I 4 stone?
George of Irish weighs 60 pounds. Man, we've been having so much fun. There's been so many kids around the office lately.
Oh,
And
man.
Mike just had another one. And we had a day, I don't know if we've shown it yet, but there's an Archie short where we featured some kids. And they were great. And like,
There was a
Raven.
kid.
yeah.
There was a kid who very excitedly told me, can I talk about this? Do you know this?
Sure.
There was a kid who saw me in the office while we were filming and very excitedly came from across the room up to me to tell me that they liked my calendar.
Oh my gosh.
Like I got recognized from the calendar.
By a child.
Is that Raven? It sounds like Raven.
I was like, oh, thank you.
That sounds
Where
like
did you see that?
sounds like a sting operation. It's like a bait kid coming in.
A guy in a bush right around the corner.
We had Javier, one of our producers in live action. We had his daughter Raven in a short, and she had to swear in it. So it had like caught this amazing conversation between Raven and her mum, where Raven was like, "Now you can say this naughty word, but you can't say it afterwards, all right? Like because this is only for the camera." And Raven was like,
Yeah.
and then as soon as we called cut, she was like, "I said it." And I was like, "Raven."
What was the word?
Kids,
You gotta watch the short and find
Yeah.
out.
Was it poo?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah, it was poo.
But we also had Clementine in here as well, Becca's oldest daughter, and she's fucking great all the time. She's always
kid.
every time she's a good kid, and she was in the live show that we did where she was on the lap of the blood goblin.
Yes,
Like, to me,
she
like
was.
totally stole that whole sketch where it's right at the end. She's in there and she's just smiling with the blood goblin.
And she's just sitting there like, so cute.
So that's great. We've had a bunch of kids around. It's been great.
It's terrible to work next to kids.
Why?
They're so likable. It's like instantly like I gotta compete with that.
Oh, I
You
know,
hate
right?
kids.
What? I don't hate kids.
Oh.
I don't want kids. For some reason, people when you say you don't want kids, people automatically think you hate kids. I don't hate kids. I just don't want a fucking
So
kid.
you don't walk past playgrounds and flip them all off?
No, I definitely
Why would people
don't do that.
think that you hate
The
kids when
double
you say,
thinking.
I don't want a fucking kid? Why would they ever make that
I also
inference?
say I don't want a fucking beer, but I don't hate beer. Come on, let's be serious here.
Would you, wait, you really? This is nothing going to melt your heart. You've seen so many great kids.
Maybe that will.
Here's something that we just talked about tonight that to really put it in perspective, right? You talk about what a generation gap there was between you and your father. He was 45 when you were born.
Yeah.
If my wife were to get pregnant right now, I'd be 42 when that kid was born.
That's it. I'm saying I don't have any problems with the
Right,
generation gap between me and my dad.
That's a big deal. By the time that kid graduates high school, I'd be 60.
We had this exact same conversation off topic. Let's not have
you?
this conversation. Yeah.
You know what
Generation
conversation we can have?
What can we
I
have,
can
Josh?
remind everyone this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is brought to you by the sports machine isn't on.
Oh, speaking of being on off topic,
Do you want me to turn it on?
I got to call the broadcast department on something. Do you want to have a representative come up here from the broadcast department? Eric, do you want to come
Who
up
do
here?
you want? Do you want me?
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. Hang
on.
Yeah, get up here.
Why were you on off topic?
I don't know why I was on off topic. It's because everyone else was busy.
Everyone's doing Achievement Hunter.
Literally, Michael said, "Can you be on off topic tomorrow?" And I said, "I can move some stuff around, but yeah, it's at noon, right?" He goes, "No, it's at 2:30 now or 2." And I was like, "Okay, yes, I can. Let me work this out, and I can do it definitely." And then he writes me for no reason. I said yes. He writes me back, he goes, thanks. I'm really desperate. No one else can do it. I was like, what the fuck? I even said, by the way, it's Gus's birthday. He goes, yeah, I already asked him. He can't do it. And also this person can't do it. And this person can't do it.
Wow.
And so I've asked you and Barbara. And then Barbara and I both said yes. So I know where I fall in the pecking order.
Natural producer.
I've been desperate to program the podcast before. I never say I'm desperate. Or
Please, you're my last resort.
I've asked everybody else, and
Unprovoked.
you're all that's left.
Unprovoked. That's what he said. Just like gave me this information. Like, yeah.
So good.
Yeah, I'm really scraping the bottom of the barrel, so I really appreciate you not saying no, because that would have been embarrassing.
I'd really rather not, but like, I'm in a bind, so if you could.
Okay, you.
What's up, boss?
Here's what I discovered on the off topic. They have a monitor that shows them chat.
The chat.
They got the chat.
Yeah.
How come we don't have that?
How many laptops do you see on set?
Listen to me.
Yeah, go ahead.
A monitor would be very convenient to have for chat. And you've been on that show before. You know that. They have the chat window.
You know, though, Off Topic doesn't have the screens for the ad. They have all these, they keep stuff secret from each other.
Yeah.
I'm
They have all
sorry.
these
Do
different
you
setups.
think, in my right mind, I would have Michael have something to look at across the room that wasn't directly in front of him? You know how hard it is to get you guys to do ads already?
Oh,
What,
have you
because
ever
he's
seen Michael try to read something?
because
He
he's
reads
blind?
his phone. He's like this. He reads his phone.
I mean, like, what you've done already, Gavin, for when Gus reads the ad of just trying to block it for him, it's so hard to get you guys to read ads already. To add another layer to that is insane. There's no way. There's no way
I think
would
Trevor
ever
had
do
to
that.
re-record every single ad that he did
Really?
on Friday. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, and it goes out so fast.
But why? What was wrong with the ad you had to replace?
Which one? All of them?
He just couldn't read.
He couldn't read.
You
Couldn't
work
read.
with Trevor. You know
Aerospace
how he
engineer
is.
couldn't read.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't he a,
Trevor's very smart. He's very intelligent.
Nope, not so
isn't
much.
he a spaceman?
He's good with
Skills
numbers,
fall
not with
apart, man.
letters.
You get under pressure, man. Shit happens.
so much.
What are you
He's
gonna
a
do?
math guy. He's not a words guy.
Reading's hard.
Reading's hard.
Actually, Sales wrote the ad copy wrong. He could read just fine.
That is true. That is true. He was
shit.
complete. He was very upset. He was like correcting on the fly.
Hi, Barbara.
Anything else?
Turn the heat on.
No, what do you mean?
You have to flip it up one more- there you
You're
go.
over there turning it on.
So you would
I'm
just
across the fucking
blow-
room.
Why would you turn the heat off?
would you call it
Why
your
would you
own
ever
mistake?
turn the heat off on that?
I
It doesn't
never,
make any sense.
Because it's a
I
bed
never
jet.
want to go camping with any
Gus,
of you.
you used to be in charge of our technology. It's got one fucking switch on it, and you couldn't figure out how to
It's a
turn it on.
stupid switch. I figured it out. I didn't know it was off.
After 20 minutes of like holding a marshmallow, cooling it off in a breeze.
So what is that for? Is that for this?
It's for
Like, this is
indoor,
indoor s'mores.
camping.
That just don't.
It's pointless, isn't it?
That's mental.
That's great.
That's like having an indoor tent. Don't bother.
Do you know actually?
All tents can be indoor tents. I just want to point that out.
Who used the tent inside?
I have.
Children.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, as a child.
I did that with
for
my
sure.
kids. I put a tent up in their room or put it up in JD's room, and they slept in it for like 3 months straight. They just thought it was hilarious that there was a tent
Why is
in
that
the room.
such a novel thing for a child? Like,
Yep.
yes, like a tent inside.
Because it's their space. And kids don't
Or
have their own spaces.
Camping in your own garden. I did that a
Why
lot
don't they
when I was a
make
kid.
gas campfires for the living room?
They have gas
I feel like I've
fireplace.
seen that.
With real
Campfire in
fire?
the living room is a fireplace, dumbass. They have those everywhere. Literally every house has one.
I mean, like, you sit around. You can't sit on the back of a fireplace. I'm talking
you
about
mean like a
Put
middle
a
one?
hot box in the kitchen. That would be great.
You want your hot box
An electric
kitchen?
hot box that I can make things warmer in. That'd be great. I'm gonna invent that.
Wait, you say that again?
It's an oven, you shithead.
Being facetious.
He doesn't get it. He's just staring at you.
I was like, you like going for the cold mailbox thing, but you want a hot one?
Your cold mailbox, which is you think is a huge invention. It's just a refrigerator that's outside. That's all it is.
This is
No.
terrible, by the way.
It's no, don't disparage
No, you
it.
gotta
It's fine.
stick with
This is
it.
awful.
It doesn't
Stick
get.
with it.
It doesn't get the nice
I
browning.
know. This thing sucks.
It
Don't be so
doesn't.
mad.
Look, how long have I been here? It's barely droopy.
Yeah, but the first 30 minutes you had it on cold.
Oh, careful now.
All it does is it heats up the metal, which makes the thing slip off it.
What happens when you inevitably drop your marshmallow on it?
By the time it gets goopy enough to drop, then it's usable.
What?
Just
What
make
if we-
sure the product name is facing
Gus a
out while
lighter.
you slay
What
it.
if we put a balloon over it?
What?
Would it blow up a balloon?
Oh, you mean like over the top of it?
Not for
No,
anything.
over the bottom of it.
I mean, you're talking about try to inflate the balloon, not try to
See, it
float
works
the balloon,
perfectly.
right?
Yeah.
Because I think it would work doing
Something
that.
now. It's got more intense.
It didn't melt the chocolate though.
Hey, can we get a ping pong ball from the ping pong table?
Or a Malteser.
Put it on the cold mode since you know how to do that.
I did, idiot.
And why am I an idiot? Because you can't figure
I
out
already
one
did it.
switch.
You said I couldn't figure out the switch. Look at it. I'd already done it.
Are you guys always this mad at each other?
It's too much.
Only the
It's
last
too much.
16 years.
Yeah.
Oh, do
that's
you know
it.
what I found out that blew my mind?
My
Blew
mouth.
my mouth.
It didn't want to be blown, but it had to be blown.
Blew my mouth.
It absolutely blew my mouth because I was thinking of mouths. You can use headphones as a microphone.
Oh.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something we had talked about before.
That seems like something you would know.
Did you know that?
I did know that, yeah.
Oh God, I didn't know
Wow.
For some reason,
So
that
it's
just seems
utterly
like
insulting that I know it. You do. Oh, God.
I was like, did you know it? You're like, yeah, idiot. Yeah.
they don't work really well, though.
No.
How do they work as a microphone?
It's just a diaphragm.
This is
why does
terrible.
it?
Hey, what's wrong with you?
Garbage.
Why are you so upset?
I wasted all that time for nothing.
What chocolate did you use?
The lint.
Give it. Come on.
What about the Ghirardelli?
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let it go to waste.
The worst part is the lint chocolate, though.
Marshmallow on his face.
Don't
Oh,
touch.
thank you. Let's try to float that on the thing.
Who?
That's a classic Maltese advert right there.
On his
That was
face.
Chad. Oh, I can assure you that Chad was an earlier choice for off topic.
Gigantic piece of marshmallow on his lips. I want him to live with it forever. Hey, what's up? See if you can play
What
that.
the fuck are you? I can't hear you.
I'm doing ASMR. He's
Want me
disgusting.
to put that on there?
Yeah, put it on there. Disgusting human. That's underwhelming.
I think I know why the s'more is bad.
It works
gonna
great.
melt.
Oh,
It's
put the
gonna
heat
melt.
on. Put the heat on.
No, don't.
Do it. Do it.
Guys, we're going to have to evacuate.
No one's ever evacuated because of one ping pong ball.
It's probably true. That would be our claim to fame in history.
Oh, it's soft.
Oh, it's expanding. It's great. No,
No, no, no, no, no, no.
It's good.
Get the cracker. Get a cracker and a chocolate ready. Come on.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, that's gross looking. That's all
It started
oblong.
turning into an egg.
so good.
That's going to stick to your hands.
Why don't we let it go? Oh. What do the audience think? Do they
is
think we
this
should blow it
podcast
up?
You know what that reminds me of, Gus? That reminds me of a thing that I read that I was thinking of you when I read it. It's about the sterile cockpit rule.
Oh, yeah. That's a very important rule.
For commercial airliners, when they're below 10,000 feet, they're not allowed to talk about anything in the cockpit that's not pertinent to the flight or the safety of the
Can't be like,
aircraft.
look at this button.
No, it's all checklist at that point.
Because there was an accident in the 70s, a disaster, where a plane crashed, and they determined, listening to logs, that the pilots were just talking about too much
I
stuff.
believe it was Delta 1141 out of
Listen to you.
Out of Dallas.
What else was interesting about that flight?
They talked about what would happen if they crashed. That's what they were talking about.
Was that
below
one of them?
10 Yeah.
It was the thing that the other interesting thing about it that I had read was that Stephen Colbert's father and two of his brothers were killed on that flight. I guess Stephen Colbert has a lot of siblings. I think he's like one of how many? 7 or 8? Something like that. How many? He's one of 11? Wow. That's a lot.
Whoa, that's busy, isn't it?
lot of kids. But they determined after listening to that, they said that, from that point on, you can't talk about anything that's not pertinent to the flight under 10,000 feet.
They were just
was
like
that-
chatting. They were just like, all right, Kevin.
Yeah, I think
There's
they
a lot
were.
going on in there. Look
If,
at that.
if you're talking about the same flight I'm talking about, they were delayed for takeoff. They had to sit on the runway for a long time. So they were just like killing time, a lot of chit chat. Then when it was their turn to go, they had gotten distracted. And
Oh, I think it's something
Scrabble.
different.
Oh, it's a
These
different
guys
one?
were on approach.
Okay,
They were
these-
like
these
going
were
into
taken off.
Charlotte or something like that. But the other thing about that, which made me think about with this ping pong ball thing, was the other thing they learned from that crash specifically was never, ever, ever wear synthetic fibers on a plane. Never wear polyester or something like that. Because in the 70s, a lot more polyester back then. Just don't do it. Because if you are in a situation with high heat or fire, it's just
it melts
You're
and sticks
gone.
to you.
You're
not
over.
good for you. Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I have travel clothes. I
Do you? Like a travel uniform?
I wear all cotton whenever I'm going to be traveling.
I don't know what my clothes are made of.
Who are you?
I'm all about aviation.
Here's the other thing I can tell you that he does that I do as well. He counts the rows to the exit from wherever he is.
in both
You
directions.
guys are superstitious.
I do that. And that's not superstitious.
A little bit.
That's like if you're
It's
in.
like remembering 2 numbers that you're probably not going to need, but if you need them, it's really good
You
to
know,
know.
when I
really
was
gonna need 'em.
when I was woodworking, I wore goggles because I was so superstitious.
First of all, Gavin, when were you woodworking?
Yeah.
Cool. In tech,
What did you
TT?
make?
TT. What did I make? Probably, I don't know, just cut wood it up. cut wood
That's
around
barely
with a
the same
jigsaw.
thing.
I sanded. Oh, I was sanding a piece of wood once, and then I didn't hold it enough, and then it got like sucked into the sander, and I broke it.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like kids don't do that now. Like the shop class.
Is there still
not-
shop class?
I don't think so. Like,
Must
my kids
be.
never took shop.
Why do you guys call it shop?
I don't know. Workshop?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, we just call it
Woody?
Design technology.
Yeah, but then you end up
Design
doing like
technology.
terms of woodworking, and then you
I
do
had
like
to make-
graphic design.
I had to make a plastic toothbrush holder.
Would you 3D print it or you molded it?
No, I like you have a little you cut the bits of plastic from one of them big machines, and then you have to like sand it yourself and stuff, and it would sing at me for 2 minutes. I had a penguin on it.
Your toothbrush holder would?
Yeah, that
You
was the
built
whole
a
part. It was
singing toothbrush?
It was
That's
a
actually-
musical toothbrush holder.
Oh, so you would put a toothbrush in it, and then you would hold it while you were using it?
Nah, bro. You would take the toothbrush
What?
out,
Do you not-
and
Oh, and that's when
press
it
a
would
button,
start.
and it would
Oh.
start singing.
And then
at
you know
you
how
for
long to
2
brush your
minutes.
teeth.
Yeah.
How come we're going over like every domestic appliance and no one here understands them? Gavin doesn't know what a fireplace or an oven is, and you've never heard of a toothbrush.
Because, like, I'm thinking,
Did you think it was like an extra handle?
well, I thought, because I'm thinking
Like one
about
of those cigarette holders.
one of our sponsors is Quip toothbrushes, and it's a handle that you put toothbrush heads onto, and it times you for 2 minutes and
Yeah.
then
This
makes the
was-
sound.
Yeah,
this
Ellie
is-
invented the Quip toothbrush in design technology class.
Listen, I'm talking about it from my perspective. Isn't that what we're here for?
Please don't yell.
Come on.
Hey, if you want to experience this in person, you should come check out Live Week. That's happening at the end of March.
There's no anxiety at all.
There's a couple of tickets left.
I got started on
Look, right
Twitter
there.
because I was bitching that the PSN you can't do cloud like Xbox. You can't just pick up a PlayStation and it syncs your games and then use another one. And
I refuted
That
someone.
made me laugh a lot because, like, oh, imagine having 2 PlayStations. It's so difficult.
Oh, is that
it's like
a lot of that?
it's like the average person has one PlayStation, but I was like, yeah, but I have 2 and I'm me. I can't tweet if I don't have one to tweet about having one PlayStation. It's my Twitter. I have 2 PlayStations. Let me tweet about having 2 PlayStations because that's my experience.
It's not so much
Don't
that you have
follow
2
me.
PlayStation. The things that makes you obnoxious is that you have a PlayStation at your desk at work. That's the weird thing about you.
Yeah, that's one of my PlayStations.
Most people do not have a PlayStation
I
at their desk at
know,
work.
and most people don't work and get blasted by moonballs every day. But
Correct.
that's my experience. What else would you be following me for?
Also, what are you using cloud saves for if you're not using it for that purpose? That's one of the big purposes for cloud saving is to go other
Right.
places.
It's a feature they have built into the system.
They have it. It's like auto upload and auto download your saves on one PlayStation.
Yep.
So what the Christ is the point? What am I going to be downloading from if I only use one? When I finish, it'll go up in the cloud. And when I start, it'll come right back down to where it was. It's just on the PlayStation.
I got similarly, like, I had to go through this a couple months ago because I made a tweet where I said, I just want them to steal one idea from each platform. And for Xbox, I want them to steal platinum trophies from PlayStation. Clearly superior. Clearly, and PlayStation just needs to steal whatever the hell Xbox does for cloud saving because
it's seamless.
Xbox understands it, and
You never think about it. And
Never.
also, I don't know if you're the same, but if I'm trying to move a save to a different PlayStation, it just shows 2 saves and the dates and the time. And I'm looking at the list, I'm like, that one is definitely...
Which one are you going to overwrite?
This one is
Like the
definitely
equations are
later.
going?
And then I'm like, and it takes me like a minute each time because I'm so paranoid about overwriting a save.
Yep.
Just have it be done on its own.
Yeah, and the way that the PlayStation Network has it is that you can only auto upload your saves from your primary PlayStation.
Right, your home
Your home
PlayStation.
box, essentially, yeah.
And then it was like, rich people problems tweet. One of them is at work. I didn't buy it. And the other one, I did an ad for Sony and I got given it. Didn't buy either of them. It's not really a money thing.
Yeah. By the way, anybody...
That makes it worse. You get that, right?
But for the majority of the world...
But that's what
I
I've
have 2
experienced.
PlayStations that I was given, and it's really hard for me.
I didn't even have to pay for them.
I was playing all day at work, and I want to continue playing while here when I go home.
When
And
I
it's very
play
difficult.
my fun game at home instead of my work game at work.
But I do have to say, though, too, when people...
There's no good way to phrase it, I'll be honest. But that is my experience.
But also, you have to admit, too, it's like for most of the world, even people with one PlayStation, that's rich people problems.
Right.
To most people in the
I
world.
was like, most people have 0 PlayStations.
I've
I
been
love
a
it.
kid where I could only afford like the secondhand single console. It was good times.
Like every now and then there's a thread. There was just one today on Futurology on Reddit about some billionaire like Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates and all the money they have, or some billionaire who's hiding money in some place, and how people are like talking about, taxing the hell out of them, and we need to have more wealth equality and everything like that. And then there's always the person who shows up in there and says, you realize if we get global wealth equality, you would go down. Everybody's like, what? It's like, yeah.
Sorry, what?
If you have a smartphone and a computer and you're on the internet, you would go down significantly from where you are if everyone had equality. And they're like, no, I only want equality for them.
Yeah, equality where I'm moving up.
People like to set limits to equality.
No, I don't mean me.
I tweeted a screenshot I took from some Reddit comments earlier today. Bill Gates was doing an AMA on Reddit, and he answered someone's question, and in response to his answer, someone gave Bill Gates Reddit gold. And then right under that, someone's reply was, "Who the fuck gave Bill Gates gold?"
How great would you feel doing that though? Just like what is it, like $4 or
I was
something?
like, you gave Bill Gates something, and then
Like throwing him some cash.
Do you think anyone buys Bill Gates drinks when they go out with him?
I don't know.
If it's his birthday.
one of the questions asked him like, does he have any? You know, they referenced that photo of him like at Dick's in Seattle, where he's just like waiting for a hamburger. They were like, do you have any like secret pleasures or things that you really like to do that maybe most people can't do or don't do? And he replied that in his house he has a trampoline room.
Who does?
Bill Gates. That it was initially there for his kids, but that it's probably his favorite part of his house. And I was like, Bill Gates having a trampoline room sounds awesome.
Great.
Can you imagine he's just having a really bad evening and he's like, give me 5 minutes. And just,
You just hit springs in the next room.
I feel so much better.
I would just put like a guest bed in there. Like just not tell people that it's a trampoline room. It's like one big massive trampoline or just a room with a trampoline?
He just said it was a trampoline
Do you
room.
think if you threw a
That sounds
moon ball in a trampoline room, it would go
Would
forever?
never stop. Yeah. It'd be like light in a room of
He was like, I
mirrors.
can never go in there anymore. There's like 4 moon balls going around.
So I saw this thing, you're talking about futurology. I saw this, I don't know if you've seen this, but there's been this popular thing lately where you go to a website and supposedly it auto-generates like an algorithmically created headshot. And you look at a photo of a person, it's like, this isn't a real person.
I think it's
This is
called,
like,
this person does not exist or something.
right. But there's like a new twist on it now, where there's websites that'll show you a fake person and a real person's photo.
no.
And you look at them side by side and you have to try to determine which one's fake and which one's real.
I would lose.
I'm out.
We have a few examples if you want to try.
Oh, shit.
That would give me the heebie-jeebies.
Do you have-
I'm
do we have
gonna
this?
be great at this.
To look at a person who never existed
This is like
weird.
uncanny
So,
valley.
one
right?
of those is computer generated and one of those is a real photo.
What does that mean, computer generated? They just glued other photos together? What does that mean? What does that mean?
I don't know. I didn't write this
The
off.
one on the left is
does that mean?
fake.
The dude is real. The lady's not.
No, I think it's a red herring. I think because the lighting is different.
Just so people know, the website is whichfaceisreal.com.
Also, one has a background and one doesn't. One has a flag background.
The real one is on the right.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Her mouth isn't right.
So the one that one on the right is real.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, lady. I mean, it's to insult your
That
mouth.
one's real.
Your mouth is fine.
Do we have another one?
At the end, by the way, the final one should just be Bernie and
The
Gus.
other one. The one on
The other one?
Yeah, the one on the right is fake.
I'm really creeped out. What's going on with his neck? What's going on down there?
Well, I mean,
What is that?
you would say George Lucas is fake then, but on that.
What?
Everyone's
I
just
hate
staring.
this so much.
Left one's real.
That
Okay,
one's
yeah,
real?
yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy on the right
I'm
is
going
fake.
on the background
What's the
predominantly.
thing? What's the thing? Is that like a Matrix tube?
Might-
Are the machines sending a message to us?
I've seen
What's
some.
going on?
I've seen some that get rendered incorrectly. Like I saw a woman with a thumb coming out of her chin. Like the computer didn't quite
Oh,
understand
so it's
where
like
parts
content
went.
aware, just like filler.
Right.
I don't like that.
All right, what's the next one?
Got another? I feel like I know both of these dudes.
It's the same dude, right?
That the guy on the left, that can't be a real person.
He does have a lot of gray hair and no wrinkles on his forehead. So
Although the guy on the right is mouthful area.
The guy in
The
the right
mouthful zone.
looks like he should be wearing glasses, but he's not. Like glasses are half
Yeah.
or quarter rendered onto his face.
Yeah.
Or his eyebrows
left,
are so thick.
Left is real.
I think so.
I feel like these sites are just like gathering data for facial recognition. They're all real people, and we're just like going through
Yeah.
criticizing
Also,
the way
look,
people look.
what's going on top of his head? The
Can you
fake dude.
zoom in on his eyebrows?
Who?
I don't think they have any more
The
resolution.
guy on the right? Does the guy on the right have glasses or not?
See, that's what I said.
Yeah.
It's like a render error.
And there's like a.
It's like he kind of. It's like
That'd be a great ad for glasses. It's like people kind of don't even know if you're wearing
it's
them.
the impression of glasses. Like he's got the earpiece, but not the rest of it.
Or not?
He's got the sides, but the top of the frames are his eyebrows.
Oh, what if you had glasses at the top of the frames just were like fake eyebrows? They covered up your real eyebrows.
That'd be so good.
I want glasses like that now.
The new Warby Parker brow frames.
Do we have any others? Or is that
The
it?
top of his
Oh,
eye.
okay.
Oh god.
Oh.
Well, it wouldn't generate someone
Wouldn't it?
that left is fake.
I can't tell.
I don't
Give
think
up
a
on this.
computer could make up that on the right. Oh, that's not someone's mum, is it?
Could be.
Le-
I'm gonna go with right is fake.
left is fake.
What do we got? Oh, right is real.
Right is real. Gavin called it.
I just don't think a computer would come up with it.
Anyway,
That's creepy.
when these sites first started coming up, I was like, they're just finding like Google images and having us look at those, right?
That's the thing, right? That's someone's real mouth on the left. Oh, another one.
Oh, we have another one.
What dictates the pose of the
feel like
face? The one on the right.
I feel like left is real because the expression that would be really hard
the
to match.
the right eye of the person on the right, our left of the person on the right, is messed up.
My left of the right.
No.
The inner one, the one closest to the center of the
Our
picture.
right to the left of the right.
The middle eye.
The inner eye, not the outer eye.
Good Lord. I don't know.
I feel like left must be real because of the expression.
I'm waiting for these are both fake. I'm waiting for the fake out. They're both fake.
Left is real.
Hell yeah.
Look at you.
Knew it.
I can identify real people.
Gavin's better about this.
I'm a Blade Runner person.
Imagine this game, but you had to hit the fake person with a bat.
What the hell, dude?
Someone in chat said the two old guys, that the one on the right looked like a Brexiter politician.
How you guys doing with that? Are we going? We leaving?
Yeah, I mean, it is, isn't it?
Well, I saw, what was it, Labour said they'd be open to a second vote
yeah.
on the
That's
referendum.
a terrible idea.
It's terrible. It's all terrible.
They should
also
just be
the
like,
EU's
hey
like,
guys,
nah.
psych, we're not doing it.
Do you have to
but
pay
then-
so much money in fines anyway, right? Isn't that part of the...
And then they'd be going against the will of the people. The people
Popular
voted for it,
vote
right?
Ish. I mean,
I'm less concerned with it. I feel like global warming. Well, the climate change is so much more important, and nobody's really. I feel like it's a bad name, climate change.
Oh, I think it breaks it.
It doesn't. It
be
doesn't
fair,
put
though,
across the.
Y'all didn't
there's
vote on
nothing
climate
that,
change.
There's nothing that you
What should they call
have
it?
or need or do that depends on free trade between England and Europe. So probably it's not surprising that it doesn't affect you too much.
They should call it. Your grandchildren will run out of food.
Vote 2019.
I don't know. It's really serious.
Death by
and
weather?
everyone makes it political. Like, if the president doesn't believe it, then
I think we
you
will.
have to
We're
start
talking about
that.
climate change.
Yeah, sorry.
We'll talk about Brexit.
They will
going-
look back
keep
at
going
us
to Brexit.
and wonder what the hell we were thinking.
I saw a John Oliver piece on Brexit last week.
That
I
was
think
fantastic.
it was, and
Horrifying.
they were interviewing. It was some British news show. They were interviewing a guy who imports flowers, and he was
yeah.
talking about this is going to
was
be terrible for
painful.
my business. We depend on getting fresh flowers, but if trade gets backed up, our flowers are going to be delayed by 7 to 9 days. Flowers aren't going to be fresh. But I voted for Brexit. I just didn't think it would have. I was like, what?
I did vote to leave, but at the end of the day, I didn't really realise it would affect me.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god.
But I mean, a bunch of those videos came out like days after the vote. Like these people being like, "Yeah, I did vote to leave, but I didn't think it would actually happen."
Yeah.
So like, I do regret it now. I think about it. Yeah.
I think I went to school with you.
This version of me.
I think you made a web
But
series
that isn't
with
even
her.
the most horrifying part of that video. The most horrifying part is the clip they show from Love Island, where the girl's like, "Yeah, so everything's gonna get cut down," and the other girl goes, "Does that mean we're not gonna have any trees?" She's like, no, it doesn't mean weather. It means that it's going to be harder to go on Spain for holidays.
And then-
I love my holidays.
Yeah, she was very upset about her holidays.
I love going to Spain. No.
Freedom of movement across all those countries was really cool.
It was nice, wasn't it?
Well,
They still have
it
it.
still is. It'll be just
Till March
all those countries
29th.
except for one,
It just stops at the water, and then you guys are screwed.
and then they have to build a wall
Oh, but
across
then,
Ireland.
Then there is the pop group with the song Britain
was
Come
so
Back.
weird.
Yeah. The Dutch boy band with the song Britain Come Back.
You guys are gonna have to go through
want us
customs when you go through the channel now.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to like go through passport checks and all that stuff.
Yep.
That defeats the whole purpose, huh?
It's a real bummer.
Makes it they're not connected to anything else. You know.
I'm a get me.
Ireland and Northern Ireland.
What about them?
That's the real problem.
That's the real problem.
They're gonna have to build a hard border.
Without a deal, they have to build a hard
Oh,
border.
because the EU, right? 'Cause
Right.
Northern Ireland is leaving the EU. Yeah. No. They have to build a hard border?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean, a
Different
hard
country.
border?
They have to build.
Checkpoints, like it's a
I assume they had that. They don't have that?
No, because the
Countries hate
checkpoints
each
were the
other.
big part. Like checkpoints were huge targets during like the IRA bombings and all of the like conflict that happened with like the whole Good Friday deal was to take away those checkpoints to stop some of that huge conflict. And now without a deal, it's going back to it.
That's why there's no fucking trash cans anywhere in London anywhere. You can't.
But
if
they
you
have,
have
the
trash,
they have the trash ring with the clear plastic
you are
bag in it.
carrying that trash with you all day long. If you have trash,
What are you
of
going to
any
do with
kind.
your second PlayStation if you don't have anywhere to put it in the trash?
Where am I going to throw away my iron brew?
Yeah, how are you going to throw out your iron brew?
I can't do it.
It's upsetting. I hope it does. I just hope that they're like, joking. We're not going to
Lol.
drink this, lol.
I don't know how you get back from it at this point.
Well,
We're
I'm just
there.
curious what'll happen to the pound. That's what I'm curious about.
Oh, there's nothing good. 9% drop.
It's going down pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the pound goes
Good
below
for
the
us moving
dollar,
money, but
Go ahead.
it would
I'd
be
love
really
that.
interesting.
Yeah, it would.
That's never happened in my lifetime.
No, it hasn't happened to a lot of people's
When's the
lifetimes.
last time that happened?
I don't know that it's ever happened.
I'm gonna look it
buddy.
up.
Yeah.
I just always assume. I mean, the pound has always been the most valuable currency that's ever been relevant to me.
Oh, you know what actually that we're talking about this weekend? Do you think coffee became like such an important drink in America because we gave
Yes.
up on tea?
I think so.
You think so? Like like from colonial days that we were just not going to drink tea
out of spite.
out of spite. Americans are going to spite.
If there's
Yeah.
anything Americans are good at, it's holding a grudge for a long time.
We're very good at spite. So, we're talking about currency that dropped. I went and did an update on an old story we talked about on the podcast years and years and years ago. I think the story dates back to 2013. It was the guy who had a computer where he had Bitcoin on the hard drive, and then he threw away the computer, and then Bitcoin started to go up significantly. And at the time, in 2013, the hard drive that he threw away was worth $9 million. And so he was buying sections. It was actually in Wales. And he was buying sections of the public landfill and excavating them and
didn't mean
basically
it.
mining them, trying to find his own
So he was
hard drive.
mining for his mined cryptocurrency.
Right, he was mining Bitcoin. And it's weird, too, because like nobody else could use it. Like if someone else found it, it's not like gold in a hunk of gold sitting there. It's like if somebody else finds it, they can use it. It's really
I'd
only
like
valuable
to
to him.
steal the trash, please.
And that was 2013. So I did a math on
On what
how
it would've
high
been
that
in
got. It got up to
2017?
$147 million. And I think now what I sent to you was like 60 million?
I think like 54,
54 million.
Yeah.
I think it's what it was. I think currently it's worth $54 million
57 is what you said.
today.
That's like almost like a Fargo type story there.
A little bit.
Everyone should be digging that.
I've spent a significant portion
I
of my
looked it
life
up.
dining through trash.
The pound has never been below $1. Like right now, where
Never.
it is the lowest it's been. The furthest back I can see is back to 1791, when it was about $5 per pound. It peaked in the late 1800s at 10, and has been slowly going down ever
10?
since then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Heck
Get it,
yeah.
England. 10 pounds
Not so
per
much.
dollar.
It's a depressing graph for you
dear.
guys.
Whoa. What was that event?
Yeah, what happened?
What done did that?
I don't know what happened around 18.
12? They burned the White
No,
House
after
down.
1812, like
Okay.
1870.
Civil War. They probably depressed our currency internationally, I would think. Your country's in a revolution.
Maybe
When was
that's
the
it,
depression?
30s.
1929 to.
What does that
40?
show on there?
You see a little bit of movement, but not much. Not whatever that 10 one is.
What, did you guys escape the Depression? Was that the
It
big
was
thing?
The U.S. Civil War pumped it up to $10.
That makes
Wow.
sense. That makes sense.
I
'Cause,
don't think we had the Great Depression in the same way, did we, in England?
I mean, overnight,
before my
half the
time.
people were not using the currency anymore, right?
It was a rough
Yeah,
time.
true. Yep. So, yeah. We've never seen it below $1. Go back
That's
to your
wild.
question.
Did I ever tell you when I met the guy who runs, founded xe.com?
That's the first site I went to.
Yeah, you go and looked at it. It's like such an old school site, and everybody goes to it. And I met him at some event. A guy by the name of Steve Dengler. He's a Canadian, and he said that he has a website that's been around for a while too. I go, what is it? He goes, xe.com. And I go, oh, I use your site all the time. He hands me his business card, and his business card says on it, I use your site all the time. It's literally what everyone says to him when he tells them.
I don't know how it became like
fun.
the standard, the place to go to. If you ever want to know any currency exchange rate, xe.com.
Yeah,
It's just so easy to type.
back in the day, right? I mean, x.com was PayPal,
Yeah.
right?
I guess it's what, like currency exchange?
Maybe that just became like a thing.
Yeah.
Like there's always weird, like I is now the thing, but it used to be E. Like E,
Apple used to have Emacs. I don't know
Right.
if you remember that.
Yeah.
Before iMac, there was like an educational Mac.
eFax and
Was it
But I
Apple
thought
that
an EMAC
changed
was a
that?
derivative of iMac.
yeah, they just changed like the letter
emac.
every now and then.
But it was
You're
them
right.
that did
Actually,
it.
iMac came first.
Yeah, with the iPod, or was the iPod was the first one? iMac was the first one. The colorful iMacs. Yeah.
And
I
Steve
was
Jobs was
one
the
of those.
ICEO.
I wonder if anyone's done a build where they hide a new Mac Or a new iMac in an old iMac. Like a little sleeper
The form
computer.
factors are so unique typically, though. Or they used to be, I should say.
I mean, there's a lot of room in an old iMac.
I'm thinking about like the lamppost one.
Dude, all you're making me think about is this current meme that I fucking can't stand. Usually with memes, I'm like, hey, it's kind of funny. It gets a little old. This one I hated after the second iteration of it. It's like new gaming meme where they have like a Game Boy or a VMU and they turn it on and it's Skyrim, that first scene in Skyrim. It's just gotten so old so fast. I don't know what it is about that one.
What can I play a video file on?
Don't know what you're on about.
What? You don't even know?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not really up to date on my memes.
Be happy that you don't know about this.
Have you ever met anybody who's pronounced it Mimis?
Maymays.
No, but I wish.
I knew
Maymays.
I knew someone who
My
would
new
say
favorite
Mimis.
meme.
I mean, there were people who insisted it was Maymay.
Really?
Yeah.
What a strange hill to die
It's after
on.
April.
Right.
It's just like
It is meme.
it's just like Jeff.
There's always been those arguments too. Like I think we talked about this one recently too, where there was a period of time where it was a huge debate when email started. How you replied to emails? Did you go above the email or below the email?
yeah.
That was a huge.
What's you below the email?
Listen, let's not go down this road.
Let's go back in time before you sent me this email.
Or the worst is the inline responses who don't tell you they're responding in line.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, what? Oh, there's.
Oh, they send you an email? Yeah, you don't realize yet.
It's like, oh, there's an email within the email. Now I have to go read everything to get all the information.
That's why I can't believe some of these emails that come to light. It's like, who's fucking sending this thing out? I'm reading over my emails all the time. Like, I make a big deal about what order I put people's names in the to field and who's on the CC field and
Oh,
who's on the
yeah.
to field.
You know how I do it? Alphabetize.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way to do it. I alphabetize recipients.
I remember when I first started working here and I would send out a call sheet, they told me that you would be really angry if anyone's name was before yours.
Who told you that? Who told you that?
And it was one of many
I want to
things
be number
that,
one
like,
on the call sheet.
that, like, if you put, I think, like, they were probably just, like, hazing me, but they're like, if you put Bernie's name after anyone, he's going to be really angry with you.
Well, I mean, it's not like you've ever complained about being not the first choice on a different podcast.
If I'm gonna be the alternate, I want to be like, I don't want to be the desperate choice. Like if on the call sheet, if it was 1, 2, 3, I wouldn't want to be that one. I wouldn't want to be that last one. No, I've never. I want to know who said that.
Well,
You gotta say.
Do I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
say it. You have to.
Well,
Can we
at
guess?
the time, you can, go on.
Will Hyde.
Who like loves to
Max.
mess with Matt? I didn't think I was good enough friends with Max at that point. Max wouldn't have been teaching me.
Oh, it's
what
Patrick
gonna say-
Matthews. Fucking hell.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes total
That
sense.
totally makes sense.
Oh, if he was like, if you even think about putting him second, like, it's gonna be on you.
How does anybody believe anything that guy says?
But I was like, my
Ever.
first week or whatever, like my first call sheet had ever
Right.
sent out from here, and he was like, "Oh, this is how you have to do things." This is how we also managed to grandfather Drew Saplin into double stuffed Oreos. It was through Patrick Matthews.
Grandfathered him.
So when you get grandfathered or grandmothered is like, for example, my grandma will always give me anything yellow. That's my thing, right? Like, like you.
Matt
if you-
has that.
Right.
Matt and his family, everyone gives him stuff with fish on it.
Right. Like there's like a
can't get away
thing
from
that
it.
it's usually your grandparents like learn about you. Like my sister always ever gets like things that are fairies. My other sister always ever gets things that are owls. Like it's a thing, right? So somehow it came to our attention that Drew Seplin has to have double stuffed Oreos on his set. And if they're not there, then like all the reckoning that will follow. Not true at all. And so eventually he was like, "Why do you keep buying these for me? Why is this the thing?" And I was like, "Oh, I was told that like you will freak out if you don't have them." And he was like, "By who? That's insane." Can you imagine if he was like, "Stop set. Where are my Oreos?"
I mean, didn't we have something where like Marshall was banning all breakfast tacos from the sets and
Yeah, he did. Well, he banned food
Why?
because it made people sleepy.
Smart guy, man.
It was just like, if people are gonna eat before, if they, if we're gonna have breakfast and coffee, like we can't have a hot lunch because people are gonna be sleepy.
stuff? I mean, I can kind of, sort of,
He
but
wanted
it's
people
really,
to have a salad, and I was like, "Do you want me to tell the grips that they don't get food, or do you want to do
Yeah,
it?"
wow.
But yeah, really, when it comes down to it, we're hiring like real professionals, real crew members
Yeah.
to make internet videos. It's like
So
they should be
sorry,
able to eat
guys,
what
but
they want.
if you have a cheese sandwich, you're gonna get real.
There is
snoozing,
something really weird about the entertainment industry and feeding people. Like it is just, you have to feed them, and not just feed them, you have to feed them pretty well.
Otherwise, Jeremy Clarkson will punch you in the face.
Yeah, that's Jeremy Clarkson got fired from BBC, right?
Yeah, Top Gear.
Yeah, he got fired from Top Gear because he got mad about a meal and punched him.
I don't know that's what he was mad about. I knew he was mad and punched someone. I
Was it
realized
about
it was
a
like
meal?
over a meal.
Right, it was the guy got the meal and it was cold.
I remember it being
Allegedly,
something to do with food. I'm not sure the details.
reportedly.
I've had a hot coffee thrown at me at set before, like when I was working in London because
I'm
it wasn't
sorry,
hot
I was
enough.
really agitated.
I know.
Right?
I mean, we've moved past it. No, I was working on a commercial, and I was one of the PAs, and I went and got the director of coffee just from like the crafty station, and he threw it at me because it wasn't hot enough. Good thing it wasn't hot enough.
What the fuck? Seriously, I can't. It's like I feel like I have
like the
so
idea
much
of
latitude
you
for
being like,
It
behavior.
is hot.
You're like, no, absolutely right. Yeah, that's
Yeah, and,
that's
and you know what? I deserve that, and I'm so sorry.
Were you
sir.
covered in coffee?
Yeah. I just had to finish the day.
bollocks. I would have walked right
It
out
was
there.
on I needed the money.
That's fair. But
She
I
needed to
feel
buy her
like,
second PlayStation.
I was like, and you have to just be like, oh, I'm so sorry.
well, he has to be number one on the call sheet. I have to have
Yeah.
it said that I have 2 PlayStations
Yeah.
next to my name.
Yeah. Jeremy Clarkson, this is from The Telegraph. Can I read from The Telegraph? Is that okay? All right.
In terms of
Jeremy
what?
Clarkson punched his Top Gear producer, Wazin Timon? How do you pronounce Oisin? 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 Oisin?
Yeah,
Oisin?
You may get it wrong.
Oisin Timon in the face following a 40-minute rant in which he swore at him and referred to him as a lazy Irish. Eyewitnesses have
what
claimed.
is this, the 30s?
The presenter of Top Gear, who has been suspended pending an internal BBC investigation into his conduct at a hotel in Yorkshire during filming of the show, is said to have threatened to have Timon sacked during the heated row over food. Yeah, so it was over food.
Yeah, the next
Wow.
sentence, just elaborate. A guest at the hotel where the BBC team were staying said Clarkson was furious to find there was no hot meal available when he and his co-presenters, James May and Richard Hammond, returned from a drinking session at a nearby pub.
Oh, so they weren't even coming up on a shoot. They were coming
Now
off
look,
the pub.
I'm drunk and I've had a few beers, but
Where's
where's my
the
hot
bab
beer?
van? Where's my chips and cheese?
Come on, I'm gonna punch you now. Bam.
You lazy Irish. I mean, it's like such a weird old-timey thing.
I've
to
had
say.
some lovely drinks, you lazy Irish bastard. Where's the sandwich?
Are the Irish considered like stereotypically lazy?
No, I
Is that a
mean,
thing?
Stereotypically,
Peter H. is
drunk,
saying it's
right?
Ush Sheen.
A sheen.
That's why I've always been fascinated by stereotypes in the U.S. is that the stereotype for Mexican people is lazy. It is the most undeserved stereotype. It's like the exact opposite of reality. Hardest working people on the planet, and somehow white people are like, lazy.
Was it there was an interesting thing. Was it 5 out of the last 6 Oscars for Best Direction have gone to Mexicans?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
I don't think I'd ever met a Mexican before I came here.
Really? You had Spanish people.
Not a lot.
What's wrong with that sentence?
Not a lot in the UK, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, then Mexico's really far. Met a lot of Spanish people.
Yeah.
There was, you know how people always are trying to guess what ethnicity I am. One time I was at a bar in Auckland, New Zealand, and I'd ordered a beer and I was waiting for it, and there was a guy standing next to me at the bar. Obviously, he had a couple of beers. He turns and looks at me and goes, "Mexican, right?" I go, "What?" He goes, "Your family's from Mexico, aren't they?" I said, "How did you know that?" He goes, "I just have a good eye for it." And he just like wandered off.
Better than the guy that was like Oriental. What did he say?
He said half black, half Korean. Is what
Well,
he said.
weren't you like walking
Oh,
recently?
yeah. Orientals. I get a lot of people shouting things at
Been
me.
so much speculation as to why that guy said that to you.
It wasn't. People have speculated it was Chinese New Year.
New Year, yeah.
I don't. It wasn't. The timing was a little off.
Can I have that?
Here, I'm gonna read this. I want to remind everyone this episode of the Receipt Podcast is brought to you by.
I don't think that we should trust the people who are going to Mars first.
At all?
Well, they're starting like a new, I don't know, a whole family.
Colony?
Yeah, colony.
Family.
By the way, we called it. That one company that said they were going to take volunteers to go to Mars. Was it like 5 years ago? We said this is a scam.
Yeah.
They just went out of business
yeah,
last
yeah.
month. Yeah.
Yeah, they saw it coming a mile away.
Huge
But
scam.
that colony is going to be too cutthroat. These are all humans who left Earth without the possibility of coming back.
Do you think that like that just by definition means they must have a screw loose?
That's going to create
They're getting away from something?
an odd breed of human, I
Well,
think.
surely the only people that are going out there are like insanely rich, right? Or are they like volunteers?
Oh, they're by volunteers.
They're leaving their planet behind.
We'll just end up with Space Australia.
I didn't say it was just open a Mars.
Yeah, but you
bank.
could come back from Australia.
Is that any different than
Not back
someone
then.
who went across an ocean 500 years ago?
I think so, because it's like you still know you're going to be on Earth, and so like all the air and stuff's going to be the same. It's not
good
like
point.
I am literally going.
There's not a shitload of space wind ready to blow you all the way back.
But you were fleeing a life. You were leaving everything, conceivably, realistically, to not see ever again.
It might sound
That's on the
insane
spectrum,
to say that going into space, I'm thinking a lot more about like what I'm going to than what I'm leaving behind.
But I think that's what he's talking about. It's like what kind of people would leave everything behind and go up
Yeah,
there.
the same people you find on the Thai Islands. You know?
Literally, you book a
What if you
return
brought
ticket.
like if I brought Ashley and my kids, I'd do it.
What?
You'd be a
The kid's mom might be upset, but we could work that out.
You would be a
What
mental
about Mush?
person.
Gene K1818 called it Marstralia. That's a good one.
Australia, listen to all the prisoners to Mars. Hey,
I just,
Hey now.
it's crazy to me. I would never, I just can't relate to it.
would you go to the moon if you could come back?
If it's a return flight, I'll go.
But like modern day,
Hasn't
Not like-
NASA said that they want to start keeping a colony on the moon? Like that?
Israel just went to the moon, right?
Israel? They have a space program?
Yeah, SpaceX just launched the Israeli lander.
I want to go to the moon.
I know China was up there.
Am I wrong on that? I'm right on that.
I'd go to the ISS. That seems like
Get the
fun.
nod from Larry.
Israeli moon
Further
lander
shits and giggles up
fires,
there.
fires engine in space for the first time. So they haven't gone to the moon. They're testing the lander in space.
They're going to the fucking moon, dude.
What crap is left up on the moon that we've already left there?
Flag and that.
Bag of crisps.
Footprint.
An old
At the
Monster
bottom of the
Munch.
lander.
Some monster
Bottom of the
munch.
lander, yeah. I
Yeah,
think
because it launches from the lander.
So they
So
just
the
leave that
feet are
stuff
there.
up there.
So why are people denying the moon if they can see that shit up there?
People got to do something, dude.
In the moon. People are bored.
They got to be skeptical.
Deny
Did you
something.
see? I
Deny the
saw-
moon landing, not the moon.
I saw a thing today that said that some people whose job it is to like screen the conspiracies off of Facebook are getting convinced by them.
yeah, they start believing them.
Yeah, and like this one guy's on leave because he's like the Earth is flat.
Yeah, like that story was crazy. Like one of the guys said that he now believes the U.S. government did
9/11 isn't
9/11,
yeah.
and that he sleeps with a gun by the side of his bed because he's afraid the government's going to come after him.
These are people that have to like,
man.
mine through Facebook and try and pull off some of this crazy stuff. And they're like reading so much of it, they're like, yeah, you know what? Yeah.
It's starting to make sense. Yeah, like that should be a temporary job. You should have to cycle those
Yeah.
people out for their mental health. Like,
Yeah.
do it for a little bit and then go do something.
Or
that
just like sit
doesn't
with
do
a
that to
therapist
you.
who's like, this is reality.
They seem to be putting a big effort into like removing false stuff and keeping the truth on these platforms.
Got
But
to, man.
is it the responsibility of that platform to do that? Like, should YouTube remove all conspiracy theory videos, or is it just like it's a free space to put shit?
I feel like,
Like, who's it damaging?
I mean, everyone. Post-truth is so damaging that whose responsibility is it unless the platforms that make
Anti-vax.
this
Well,
like,
if
That's who's damaging.
if
Anti-vaccination's
anti-vaxxers,
part of that.
but if they want to do that, then they're taking themselves out, surely, and their kids.
I think there has to
And
be
people
some
who the
kind of
vaccines have worn
remit to
off.
protect people from post-truth.
You get this thing called herd immunity, and that's a big, like,
It's just a bit anti-free speech.
that's a
isn't it, if you
trigger word
can't-
for a lot of anti-vax people because it's like that's a hoax. It's the herd immunity.
If a bunch of idiots want to promote their idiocy, then that's just life.
It can
So I
affect
feel like
people.
it goes beyond free speech, right? Because it directly affects people, their choices, and what they do next.
I feel like we let it slide, and we said that for a long time, and now we're in this situation where it's like you missed it. We talk about measles
Right.
in all these countries around the world who are
Brexit,
making a
like
comeback.
look at all of it.
As I
It's
say, the
all-
Brexit bus is probably a great example of that.
Yeah, that
The
bus
bus
should
that-
not have been legal because it was a lie.
But how would you have protected against that? No bus ads that aren't.
I
like,
mean,
what-
that was one specific like bus-related incident.
I'm surprised that there aren't more strict laws about that in the UK. I feel like y'all are very strict about a lot of that.
I feel like there definitely is a more of a kind of a remit to protect people from there's
From
much
lies?
less like freedom, free speech kind of stuff. It is much more like
UK doesn't brag about
How dare you?
free speech.
like Kermity.
But you're asking who it harms, and we're giving the example here.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, look at us now.
it's weird.
We
It's
are in
weird finding
harm.
the balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, because at this point, like, it's a huge part of people's just general education, right? Like before recently, it was pretty much people got their news from the news, which was like a very like heavily vetted and not a 24-hour cycle thing.
Like
which is,
Trevor McDonald.
like Trevor McDonald and Jon Snow, and now
Moira
look at
Stewart.
us.
Yeah, it used to be you had 30 minutes a day to cram all the news in. Now you have to
Right.
fill like a 24-hour
Exactly, and
cycle. It's like
which is
it's
how it
all this
gets
bullshit.
sensationalized, and you just throw some entertaining lies in there because people are going to watch it.
I just think it's such a hard thing to enforce.
Oh,
Like, drawing those
absolutely.
lines. Where do you even set those boundaries?
That's why we
how do you
is where we
decide
is.
what gets taken down?
How do you
don't,
say
that's
what's
the problem.
true?
You don't. That's the problem. That's it's kind of like what we deal with in this country with the Second Amendment. It was a very important part of the formation of this country, was being able to arm ourselves against the government. The framers of the Constitution, though, they couldn't, and they said this themselves. Thomas Jefferson says this, can't imagine what future people are going to be dealing with. They give us the ability to change all that stuff. And I think the quote is that, we can't be held to the intentions of our barbarous ancestors. And I'm totally butchering that quote. It's a paraphrase. But they couldn't envision that we'd have automatic machine guns and, access to hand grenades and things like that when they were making the Constitution. Likewise, with the First Amendment, which is very, very important to the country. I'd say more so important than the Second Amendment. It's because everyone believes in freedom of speech in the First Amendment, freedom of religion. And but who could envision that we would invent the internet, even in my lifetime, that where you would go from having highly scrutinized sources of media who are reporting on the government, and they're like the watchdogs, to now suddenly there's just an infinite amount of sources of information.
Right. I don't think that freedom of speech has now been twisted into I get to purport something that is lie as truth, which is not what freedom of speech is for or about. Freedom of speech is for and about being able to be given the ability to speak freely. It is not to rationalize things that are factually untrue as being true. And those are two different things that I think there does need to be some delineation. But you're right. Like, how the hell do you even begin to do that?
Right. How long was between the amendments?
How long was between the amendments? So they passed the Bill of Rights, which were the first 10 amendments, and then they added amendments after that.
Wait, so it started with amendments?
Well, the Constitution is a framework for how the government will work.
Yeah.
And then there's the first 10 amendments of the Bill of Rights.
I'm
And
trying to look
added
up how
more.
much time passed.
So they're kind of like patches. They're like point ones.
Yeah, a little bit.
At some point, they should just do a 2.0.
I mean, so there's ones in there that involve like slavery. There's ones that involve women's suffrage.
Yeah, so the Constitution was September of 1787, and the Bill of Rights was effective December 1791. So within 4 years, they had the first 10 amendments.
So there's a couple of hang on.
Yeah, it's like we've run the country. It's been going for 4 years.
Pause.
We clearly need to.
Need a couple more.
They started that process in September of 1789. So it took 2 years to do. So they ratified the Constitution. 2 years later, they started the Bill of Rights process. Then 2 years after that's when they decided on the 10.
It's an interesting timeline. It's supposed to be interesting to see what event caused each amendment. Like it must be in retaliation to a specific thing that happened.
Yeah, and in fact, there were the initial. We ended up with 10 in the Bill of Rights. There were 12 that were proposed, and they cut 2 of them.
What were they?
I don't know. I didn't know that until right now.
Oh, weird.
Well, there's also, I believe, is it the 14th Amendment, which is the one for slavery? And that one has the weirdest legacy because it's what corporations use as the interpretation to define corporations as people. And ironically, the amendment that got rid of slavery then created the modern corporation, which is everyone goes to work for and slaves for, essentially,
Oof.
Just kind of like spread it a little thinner for everybody.
And there was that
Very
weird-
ironic. There's a great documentary called, I think, Inc. INC, or maybe it's The Corporation. I saw it years and years ago. I'll look it up here and see. But it was a really interesting analysis of how we treat a corporate identity, how they basically become sinkholes for poor moral decisions.
it was always weird how you define a person too. Like there was it was written that a black person was worth like what 3/5 or something.
Right. I think that was for like a vote for voting purposes.
Yeah,
Yep.
where you're getting into maths with
The
human
corporation.
beings,
And at some point,
like a
someone thought that was,
number
like,
value to a
and
human.
they thought that was all right enough to write down and decree.
This
They're
will
like, that
be-
sounds about right.
Yeah.
This will be
2/5,
proper.
4/5.
We'll get this
3/5.
engraved on stuff.
So the 2 amendments that failed were the first one. I can't see the specifics on it. It says it was drafted to ensure members of the House would continue to represent small constituencies even as the general population grew. I guess trying to scale that somehow. And then the second one forbade Congress from giving itself a pay raise. If Congress passed a pay raise, it would only be effective for the next session, not for the one that was currently
So you
in.
couldn't get elected and be like, I now pay myself
Right.
$100,000.
What is the current salary of the president?
One of the amendments, and they get overturned too. Like one of the amendments was prohibition, right?
Right.
That was the constitutional amendment.
19th, I think.
19th?
I think so.
And then they couldn't sell alcohol, or
Well,
they couldn't purchase or sell alcohol, but
What
you
was
could
the
still
point
drink it.
of that?
Prohibition.
Yeah, what is
Because it
it?
was like bad,
It was like
It was encouraging
drink?
bad behavior.
sinful.
religion and purists were
But
like,
like,
let's be-
what's the great fact about prohibition is that like the very moment that it ended, all the bars were like, well, hey!
Yeah, we're
And
ready
everyone's
to
like,
go.
where'd you get that from? They're like, nowhere.
pre-order day one.
I read somewhere the other day that prohibition made buying and selling alcohol illegal, but it didn't make consuming alcohol illegal.
Yeah.
So right before it went into effect, very wealthy families bought liquor stores.
Oh, really? So they were just like, this is mine now.
Yeah, so it's like, I've got liquor. Like,
If they owned it, they could drink it.
Ooh, a fine Hendrix.
I watched
lovely.
a YouTube video that was explaining how in some countries,
$400,000.
400 grand, that's not bad. Bugger me.
It's some buns.
That's more than the Prime Minister gets. There's a,
What does the Prime Minister get?
I think it's like 100 and something. I don't know, actually. I don't know. Apparently, in some countries like Germany, it's legal to escape from prison.
Oh, yeah, I think Sweden's
Well,
one of them as well.
If you manage it, it's like good on you.
Yeah? As
No,
long as
it's,
you
it's
don't...
not illegal even if you get caught.
150,000
You can't be further punished
grand.
for it because it's human nature to want to escape.
Yeah,
So it's
it's
like,
like everyone
fair
has
enough, son.
everyone has the right to seek freedom in those countries. You have the right to freedom, but you can get it.
So the act of escaping isn't it?
No,
Isn't
I got
in
the-
itself
But if
illegal.
you break laws escaping, like if you bribe someone or
Sure.
you nick a car,
Right.
you've still broken
But if
the law.
you just manage to like peg it,
Yeah, there was apparently one of the examples in the video was one guy snuck out while all the guards were watching a film, didn't break any laws. He then got into
oh,
a getaway
watch
car.
Forrest Gump, don't come on.
He got into a getaway car that he owned in full, and then onto a jet that he owned. And because he didn't rent the car, he wasn't like a misuse of rental equipment. All legal from beginning to end. And then the prison was just like, yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Someone broke.
Mexico, Germany, and Austria.
Yeah.
It's fine if you make it
The
without
law
breaking
recognized that it is basic human nature to escape, and hence the act of escaping itself is
But
not
you can't
a crime.
like blow your way. You can't like
Sure.
destroy the prison.
the act of escaping, just escaping is not the crime.
Yeah.
But if they catch you, surely you're still like need to pay for the crime
Sure.
that you were in prison for. So they just put you back.
Yeah, but they're not going to add your.
Yeah, but you don't get any more
Right.
time. It's just like that was fun. Come on, son.
They probably
Scallywag.
like.
What you like?
They probably add on the section you were gone. To the
Right.
end, right?
Like,
that would make sense.
Because you weren't in
Can you
prison.
imagine like you're like up for parole, whatever, and they're like, good behavior. You did escape 7 or 8 times, but you did it really well. So
You
So I
slipped
can't
away
bring that
again.
up.
yeah,
Someone
you get-
escaped from the jail in the town I'm from. How did this go? There were contractors working at the jail, like painting the exterior and fixing up some of the exterior parts of the jail. One of the prisoners asked the contractor if they could borrow his truck because he wanted to go buy some cigarettes, and the
Wow.
contractor let him borrow his truck. So he just
dipshit.
took off.
Whoa.
There's not a lot of smart people. Did you watch the documentary? Not a lot.
You're so pissed.
Not a lot of big thinkers in the town I came from.
Say yeah, I'm out.
I can tell you exactly how that conversation went. That guy probably was like, went to the prison and said, is anyone gonna pay for my car? 'Cause my car got stolen. That's probably the way he tells that story. He's like, this guy stole my car. It's like, no, you let a dude out of
No,
fucking
you-
prison. That's what
You
happened.
said he could use it.
Also, it's like, what a great way to get out of helping someone escape from prison. Just, I'm a fucking idiot. And it's like, then just play that card. You know, they had to at one point go, no, you clearly helped this guy
Yeah.
and gave him your car. You know him, right? And he's like, no, he wanted to go get
He
cigarettes.
said he would be right back.
He was going to get me a pack.
It was no big deal.
Good Lord, dude.
Here, I'm going to read this last thing here. I want to remind everyone this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is also brought to you by.
I could break out of prison.
You think?
I think so.
Do you think you could fight
Just
a
like
tiger?
you could fight a bit. Yeah.
How would you do it?
You know what? Honestly, if it's not illegal to break out of prison,
Which it is here.
it is here. But David Blaine should go to Germany, get imprisoned, and then if he escapes, they can't get him for escaping prison. He can
That's
just
true.
escape, and then he's good.
How's he going
Darren
to escape?
Brown.
That'd be a great show. He's David Blaine.
He never explains how he does his thing.
That's right. He does blink. He like hypnotizes
It's like
the
Darren Brown, but not as good.
the prison guards.
Darren Brown. Oh, he was legend, wasn't he?
I saw Darren Brown on the street in London, and then I got excited, so I walked past him again, and I was like, oh, he knew I was going to know I did that. It's Darren Brown. He sees everything.
Do you remember the first time you saw Darren Brown?
Do you not know who Darren Brown is?
No.
No, we have no fucking
He's
idea
like-
who Darren Brown
Who
is.
is Darren Brown? Real quick.
He's
Who is Darren Brown?
He's a magician / hypnotist in England.
He was a child.
He He was on the
program post and was disgraced.
Yeah, he was on the telly with the
He's
diddler.
in disgrace currently.
I don't
We
know.
have had an absurdly high number of nonces come out of our entertainment
It's
industry,
true. No, he is. He's an illusionist, etc.
but not a nonce.
No.
He's a good one.
He did like on Channel 4. He did like a live like Russian roulette thing.
What? That
I
sounds
watched
horrible.
I watched him shoot a bag of sand.
Yeah,
you have to
yeah,
do
yeah,
it in
yeah.
like Jersey or something to avoid the law or something crazy.
Yeah.
What do you
he
get a
did.
gun in the UK? You guys have guns on your TV?
He just said.
He went to Jersey.
But Jersey's in the UK.
No, but but it was like a whole like set up situation. It was one of the obviously not going to properly shoot himself on TV, but it was very much like
I think it was blanks,
tune in
but-
tonight at 9 p.m.
And then he,
while
like-
Darren Brown maybe shoots himself in the face.
And then didn't he once try and predict the lottery numbers? It was like all this build
I
up.
think he did do it, didn't he?
I swear there was one
Feel
time where it was
feel
like
they wouldn't have shown it if he didn't.
no, I feel like there was one where it was like, and here are the numbers, and it came out differently, and then the credits went, and it was
just
like,
end
it was like,
it.
I can't win them all. And it was just like, what?
I like this guy.
He's
Yeah.
great. Very,
He was
very.
very.
But is
insane.
that like something you guys would watch? Because if you're anti-gun violence, you would tune in to watch a Russian roulette thing?
That's like saying,
Yeah,
would you watch
because
a
it's like-
movie with a gun in it?
It's like watching The Prestige.
I don't think of British movies as having a ton of guns in them.
You ever seen Hot Fuzz?
I guess Snatch, yeah.
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking
Yeah,
Barrels.
There
that's
are
a big
guns
gun.
in the UK, in the
Yeah, but this
underground.
Guy Ritchie's like, he just wants to be Quentin Tarantino. I'm sorry. He does. I mean, missing the mark a little bit.
Wow.
You don't think Guy Ritchie's made some good shit?
What?
What?
You were on a Guy Ritchie set, right?
God, most scary experience of my life.
Yeah.
Which one?
I just would not want to piss that guy off.
Really?
Yeah, scary,
Okay.
very stressful.
I just saw, was on the plane today. I was actually in Salt Lake City this morning and flew here. I'm just like so jet
You
lagged.
have to go feed the deer, right?
Dude, don't even get me started on that. I put up this Instagram thing with these deer outside the place where I'm staying, and the fucking internet is doing this like breakdown of like, is he feeding deer? What county is he in? That's illegal. Bernie can't be putting food outside. Look, you can see piles of corn that he clearly put out. I was like, dude, I don't live in Utah. I was there a day. Do you think I went out to like the feed store and bought corn to feed deer? What the fuck is wrong with you people?
He loves to break the law.
Yeah, I'm just like, how can I fuck up Utah?
You like finding weird laws and breaking them.
Yeah, it's like, come on in, deer. This plane is working
I'll
perfectly.
escape from prison.
Anyway, so every
Why
video
can't you feed a deer anyway?
I don't know.
Americans hate deers.
I think what
You- you-
Here, I
what-
can give a list of all the things the internet said was going to go wrong with me interfacing with deer. One, I was drawing the deer in, which means predators are going to come in and they're going to attack me in my house. In a house I don't live in a state that I don't reside in.
2, he's gonna fall in love with the deer.
Second is, it's going to make the deer easier to shoot. It's like these deer were fucking stupid. I could walk up and touch them and pet them. These deer don't have a future to begin with.
Wait, you pet the deer? That's worse than feeding
I
them.
gave him a little mush on the ear. I gave him like a
Okay.
little tut-tut.
Now Bernie's got Lyme disease.
These deer had these massive ears.
I think you're allowed to tut, but you can't go for a third because that's illegal.
I went tut-tut. And that's it. If you go tut-tut-tut, they're like, ah.
Yeah, well,
Gotcha.
Where's your license? But you'd like it because my last thing I did was I went out to the deer and I told them that I had to go and I was sorry, but here's a copy of Laser Team 2, and then they all ran away. So that's how the whole thing ended with them. But they were just killing me about that. I forgot what I was gonna say about this.
You were just coming back from.
Utah.
Plane, airplane.
Nah,
You're
I was gonna say
on a plane
something, but
earlier.
now I'm thinking that this is not pertinent to anybody but people in this room. I was at the airport and I never. The only way to fly for me to Salt Lake direct is on Delta, and I never fly on Delta. I always fly on American, which is the other end of the airport in Austin. So I had to go down to the gates. What used to be Gate 1 and is now Gate 10 or 11.
is that under construction?
No,
They finished that.
they finished it. So Gavin, this is amazing. This is a conclusion to the airport construction for this one small part.
Oh my god.
Drum roll.
It's still a fucking nightmare, guys. It's like there's so many. There's another door that's blocked off now. It's terrible. But it was crazy because I go to where Gate 1 usually is, and then the airport just keeps going, like out of sight. It's a really weird experience to do that. You probably know this area well because it's the British Airways gates.
It's 1 or 2, right?
That's all gone. Where that desk was at the end, where you walk down the hallway and it ends in a desk. That desk is now another mile of hallway. It's very strange.
So what's at the end of it? Or does no one know?
I didn't go down that far.
Yeah,
I
no
went
one's,
to
no one's gotten there yet.
Yeah.
I don't think you complain when one door. Why on earth would anyone want to use all the doors at the airport on the same day?
I just noticed they after 18 months they fixed the one door and now they've moved on to another door. whatever this magical thing they're doing at these doors.
They're never going to be done.
I'm actually okay with the construction.
People get so cross
Yeah,
about, I mean, you're one of them. People get so cross about airline travel when it goes badly or when it's like mismanaged or inefficient.
I get upset.
You do get upset.
What do I get upset about?
Well, if you're not number one on the upgrade list,
I'm never number one on the upgrade.
No, I mean, like, they're like, you know, and then I understand if it's like needlessly inefficient or ineffectual, it's annoying. There was this one time I was.
Am I worse than Gavin? No.
I don't know. I've not traveled much.
Your
with
first
Gavin
appearance on the
because he
podcast was
refuses.
all about Gavin trying to get to the UK. Do you remember this?
I do remember
Yes.
that.
what?
Anywho, I was in.
Diva?
Yes.
I was going to Thailand, and my stopover was in Abu Dhabi, and it was like 2 or 3 in the morning or something.
Good luck with that.
And so there, you know, it's like a regular flight. So there's first class and business class and whatever. And the thing had been running late for ages, and the guy literally just comes up to the microphone and goes, "Okay, get on." And like that's it. Get on.
Abu Dhabi to Thailand.
Yeah.
Get
no,
on.
like, okay, boarding first class now, or boarding group 1. It was like, all right, everyone get on. And like everyone lost their shit. Like
Oh my
all the
God.
people in first class and like some real fancy people in Abu Dhabi getting on this plane were like red faced and screaming at this guy who was like, I don't know what I did. I'm sorry. And I was just there with my one bag, like a little troll person, like waiting
get
for
on the
to
plane.
get on last. But like, I was just to imagine if you were there and they were like, okay, get on. You'd have been like, what?
Me? When have I ever lost my shit in an airport?
You one time.
You lost your shit.
I lost my shit one time with you in Japan. That's because they were going to try to put me on a different.
Well, you also lost your shit when you were like 10 feet behind me and I got on the plane and you didn't.
I didn't get mad about that. Too.
Yeah.
I think we've
How
heard
did you know
about
you were gone?
Well, you were texting.
Just felt it.
Like, oh, you British fuck, you left me. Yeah, dude. It's like
Yeah.
the only time I've
We were
ever
like-
missed a plane is when I've been super early for the plane, and then the airport was nuts. That happened today in Salt Lake City. I should have taken a photo of it. Line out the door, like across a sky bridge, going out back to the parking garage. That was the line for security. But I've got the service clear. Would you just use your little fingerprints? Boop. It's like $100 a year. Just so you think this is an endorsement, it's totally not worth it, except the one time a year when you need it.
Right.
And that day for me was today.
I can't use my fingers. I have to use my thumbs.
That fucking thing doesn't work.
Yeah, I always have to say, can I just do thumbs? Like
Yeah.
something
Like,
like
do
I
you
can't.
not have a
It's
fingerprint?
like the fingers just don't work for
Is
me.
that part of your airport uniform?
Yeah.
He has
fingerprints
skin
burn.
that dissolves metal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah, Ashley and I, it didn't work because we just came out of the cold. And the guy goes, can you just do this for me? And if you're listening to the podcast, he's making like this, like rubbing his 2 fingers with his thumb like he's got money that somebody owes him.
No, he's asking you to tip him.
I think he was. He's like, can you all just do this? And I go, Ashley, hey. And, you know, the TSA checkpoints are like, no
Very
jokes,
funny,
please,
sir.
sir. I'm like, let's use this. And we got through in like, seriously, about a minute. And I think we heard other people in the airport. It took an hour to get through security.
Wasn't I with you in San Jose once? And we were trying to get on a plane, and I was bitching. I was like, San Jose has the worst security.
It does.
Like, it's going to be a super long line. I was bitching about it the whole time. We get to the airport, and where we are in line for security is out in the parking garage. And we get in line. We stand there to
It's Thanksgiving
wait.
week, to be fair.
And then this
travel.
woman and her daughter get in line behind us, and I hear them point at I see them point at a car, and the woman goes, "That's our car. We're back at our car."
Yeah.
Like they went in, checked in,
bags.
and then went to get in security line, and they were back where they parked to wait to get into the airport.
People don't believe that story when I tell them that we were in a security line that went all the way out to the parking garage. It's 100% true.
Yes.
Yeah, 100% true.
I think it was you, me, and
fucking Jeff.
Jason. I think
Was it? I thought it was Jeff.
maybe Jeff was there too.
There was,
Maybe.
just, there was just like one person trying to get through everyone.
We were connecting through San Jose, which I don't know.
I have no
who would
idea.
even do that.
I have no idea why we were connecting. One and two, why we had to go through security again.
Because we went from the Alaskan airline terminal to the American. That, I remember that specifically. And it was a different terminal. So we had to leave security and go back in. And it was a line out to the fucking parking lot.
I was just doing a ghost hunt. We did the whole week of ghost hunting last week. And
Did you
we
find any
had-
ghosts?
No, and we had a connecting flight.
Spoiler.
A connecting flight in LA to go to San Francisco. And I was just like walking behind. I was like following people. And I realized that Jeremy and Ryan and I think someone else, Trevor, were all walking out of the airport. And I was like, and I like stopped to look. I was like, I think that's the way out because I need to go to Terminal 5 from 4.
Like the point of no return.
I was looking at the signs. I was like, no, I'm not crazy. And then by that point, they'd already got onto the moving platform and were walking away. And I was like,
You let
they'll
him
be
go.
all right.
You let him go.
All the way out. out of security. They had to go through security again.
Oh
they,
my
they walked
God.
like into the street.
And you have to explain why you're doing that on a connection.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that's not good.
And there's like tons of signs, including one that says you can't come back
Right
from this point.
like
and
usually like red and white striped lines and everything.
So Jeff caught up with me while I was like, I think, and we went the right way. I'm like, should we call them? And I was like, no, they'll turn around like right before they get to the you can't come back part. They went straight through.
Wow.
So they had to get back in through security like fools. Traveling with other people is a nightmare. I almost followed them down there.
That's
Yeah.
I'm about to go to New Orleans with 8 people for Mardi Gras.
That
oh,
sounds
that sounds like fun.
I
terrible.
think it will be fun.
You and I had exact opposite reactions.
I'm on your side.
This weekend we had to have a safety meeting.
For a
Where,
vacation?
yeah, well, because so my friend Chelsea Harfouche is from New Orleans, so she was like, "A, do not fuck with NOPD. Like you cannot do that. Then they will not find it funny, and you will be taken to jail."
Why is that?
They're just, I mean, especially during Mardi Gras, like,
it's a mess, dude. You
Yeah.
going to the French Quarter?
yeah.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
What is the biggest crowd or I shouldn't say biggest? What's the densest crowd that you've ever been in?
London 2012.
Okay, for the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. I've been to Mardi Gras in New Orleans. The density of the crowd is crazy. Like we were there one time and a fight broke out a little bit away from our group, and then people tried to move away from the fight, and that caused a serious situation because then people started to fall over and then couldn't get up because other people, it's like dominoes.
Yeah.
And then people were leaning, and a friend of mine who's from there has a story. It's like if you can lean in a direction in such a way that you can't get back up because people fill in the space where you were, and it's just like it's very dense if you go in the French Quarter.
Elbows out.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
It's funny that I remember like planning trips like this when I was when I was at university.
Take
and,
Colton.
And it was just, Colton's in Atlanta. He can't make it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But I remember it's kind of like one of those things of like, all right, well, we'll all have fun and like maybe we'll all get back. Who's to say? All right, let's go. And now we're all like, nearly 30 and stuff. We're all like, okay, everyone needs to find my friends. We're all going to have each other. And we all need an extra battery for our cell phones. And we all have to have our addresses. We're going to write it on our hands before we go out just in case. Like, it's like we have this huge safety meeting about going on
Yeah, you had a
vacation together.
briefing.
It reminds me of that story Steve Merchant told where he was at some sort of New Year's celebration in London and these girls just showed up like around him and he was like, all right, how's it going? And he's 6'7".
Hello there.
Yeah,
Lovely.
and he was like, how's it going? He's like, no, we're not here for you. We just all arranged to meet at you at midnight.
That's hilarious.
Because they could see wherever he went.
That is fucking hilarious.
Like he was a waypoint for
Yeah,
them.
it was just like a landmark.
So good.
That's amazing.
That's
Meet
fucking
at
hilarious.
Merchant, all right? Midnight. See
They
you
didn't
there.
know who he was at the time. He was just some tall bloke. Like he wasn't because he
So
was Steve
good.
Merchant.
He might be the wittiest person on the planet.
I bloody love Steve Merchant.
He is
great.
really fucking funny.
He's so
Man.
funny. Hello Ladies is one of my favorite shows.
I think I've seen it.
So good. Showtime?
Or something, yeah.
Yeah, Showtime or HBO or something? Yeah.
I only just, Max introduced me very recently to Portal 2, and I'm enjoying it very much, just mostly for Steve Merchant's voice.
I would
Like,
imagine it holds up pretty well.
yeah, of just him being
Did
like,
you play
okay.
the first one?
Yeah,
Okay.
As soon as you go into old Aperture Science, it's top notch.
he's so good at being a dumb little robot.
I
Last
think,
game
if I
of
remember
Valve?
right, I think he was a late addition to that game.
Oh, really?
I
Well,
think-
I mean, there was a playable or a trailer or something or a whole sequence of the first bit where it was just some
Yeah, it was.
Wurzel guy doing a
Yeah, and then like it was like a last second thing where they said like, oh, maybe it'd be funny if we get Steven Merchant to do it.
So he's just, oh, sorry, lost you there for a moment. Okay. Oh, I think I can go off my railings. Should we have a look? I can do it. They told me I should never do that.
He's so good. Now I want to play it again.
Yeah. This little character is brilliant. We just got up to like, the turn. No one spoil it for anyone, but like the turn of the game.
Potato?
And I was like, oh, what? Yeah, potato.
Well, let's end this podcast so we can go play Portal 2.
Let's go do it.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye, bye, bye.
in your mouth.
All right.
Who's my? I'm not doing it. He has to do it. He's the host.
Watch the podcast for more of this.
Oh, nice! And if you like this video, be sure to hit
You got
like
one.
and subscribe. And
Chubby
Gus will be
bunnies.
here all day eating marshmallows.
Bye.
Ellie!
Oh, right in the head.